The film itself.
Taking care of business back in studio on WRBH. Del Agnew handling those duties, and I'm Ken Trahan. And we're at Haas-Memphis Stadium where this evening the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars battle the Newman Greenies. And a pleasant good evening to you. Ken Trahan, joined this evening by the coach, Ron Elsey, as Newman and Thomas Jefferson each try to advance their 1-0 records after season opening wins a week ago. Thomas Jefferson comes in, as mentioned, 1-0. They defeated Haynes in the Magnet Bowl 29-7 a week ago, and Well, the academic theme continues here tonight. You go from the Magnet Bowl, Thomas Jefferson and Haynes, to Thomas Jefferson and Newman. Lon, it's great to have you with us first and foremost. Thanks for joining us. And in terms of institutions, it doesn't get much better than the two here tonight. When you talk about the student athlete, two outstanding academic institutions, Thomas Jefferson and Newman, and they happen to play solid football as well.
Well, there's a reason, Kenny, why it's student athlete. You know, that's what the kids are supposed to be, going to school first, playing football second. And both these coaches do a great job of stressing that to their kids and working their kids to where they need to be, both in the classroom and on the field.
Well, when you talk about football, both teams are coming off of victories. As mentioned, Newman won their season opener 34-6 over McMain in a driving rainstorm. Their video crew wasn't even able to get good video because of the rain that took place at Lupin Field last week, so they got adverse conditions. In terms of Thomas Jefferson, when you look at what they've done last year, the Jaguars 5-5 in the regular season, made the playoffs. And, of course, the select side of things, which is a topic of concern, a sore topic for Kevin Kelly, who doesn't think they belong on the select side. Went to the playoffs, of course, lost in the opening round of the playoffs. And when you speak of Coach Kelly, and we'll hear from him coming up in a few moments, you're talking about a guy that's just a good football coach and a good man who's clearly been an institution at this school. Lonnie's the only coach that the school has ever had.
Yeah, I mean, I tip my cap to him. I mean, to start with this program from nothing, basically, probably playing with a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and developing, looking at his record to what it's been lately. I mean, that's a tremendous job by him. And also with the academic side being as strenuous it is, to go out and be competitive the last few years, that's a great job by him.
Well, it is, and obviously he's in his 9th year, 46-46 overall. They've been in the playoffs 3 times over a period of those years, and when you're looking at what he's brought this program from, Ron, I know you were studying the notes. You know, you give birth to a program, you're going to struggle initially, and they went 1-9 and 1-8 their first 2 years, and look at what they've done since then. They've gone 44-29. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the key to a coach being able to do that is getting your kids to buy in to what you're doing, and he's obviously done that because, you know, when you go 1-9, 1-8, that's tough, and to get your kids to follow you and believe in you, you know, he's done a tremendous job.
Well, when you look at the Newman Greenies, it's a program that is accustomed to success. Last year, kind of odd. They didn't have a winning record overall, 6-6, but they made it to the quarterfinals in Division III as they shocked Dunham 41-40 in the opening round of the playoffs, and one of the better games of the season. I know you saw that game, so did I. And then Catholic of New Iberia winning the following week 49-21 to knock them out. So it was a it was a good year for Newman, but not a great year, because this is a program that traditionally wins 8 to 10 games, and as recently as 2014 they were in the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, Nelson does a great job. I mean, Nelson is good as they get out there. He's a good guy. He's a good football coach. He's intense, and he demands a lot out of his players. You know, kind of the same way, you know, being a Jesuit grad, you know, you're going to be good in everything you do. So we're going to be good academically, and we're going to be good athletically, and we're going to do things the right way. And I mean, you just look at his record. He's basically, I mean, he's a 65+% winning percentage coach, and that's tremendous, especially considering some of the teams he's had to play in his district over the years, the Riversides and those. So no, he does a tremendous job. Nelson's a good football coach.
It's Thomas Jefferson and Newman coming up. We'll take a time out here. When we return in a moment, you'll hear from Thomas Jefferson head coach Kevin Kelly. You are listening to and watching Thomas Jefferson football on WRBH 88.3 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com.
Everybody buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Buckle up. Everybody buckle up.
Catch right Hamilton. This will be Coach Traham with Thomas Jefferson head coach Kevin Kelly. And Kevin, obviously a good start. It was nice to get off to a good start with a victory over Haynes last week. Always a big game because of the rivalry, and clearly you had to be pleased overall.
Yeah, overall, absolutely. Starting off 1-0, that was our goal, and a big win for the kids in the school. Got the trophy back and had a little parade after in the courtyard. It was good fun. But now we got to move on, and now we face a huge challenge with Newman and very good skilled team, so we got our hands full tonight.
It's a leap of faith. You schedule a team like this. That's a perennial playoff team, a team that always wins, a team that executes well. And the question would be, why do you do it?
Well, to give our kids a good look at good competition so we can get ready to play bigger and better people, get them ready for the playoffs. So you try to schedule people that are, good teams, and, you schedule some wins, you schedule some tough ones, and that's what you do.
Last week, Camille ran the ball extremely well for you. That was clearly a big takeaway offensively in the game, but defensively, you come up with turnovers, you hold the team to 7 points.
Yeah, defense played well. We gave up 1 touchdown on a bust, coverage bust. So we did really well on defense. Guys on defense, and that's what we do. And then we're going to run it again. And then we're going to run again. Away, obviously. And mix pass and try to keep the ball.
And try not to give up the field, right?
Absolutely. We're going to drop into coverage. We're going to dare Newman to run.
Kevin, best of luck to you this evening.
Okay, man. Thank you.
All right, that's Coach Kevin Kelly of Thomas Jefferson as we get set for kickoff, which will be in about 7 minutes or so here from Haas-Memphis Stadium. Well, Lon, you got a pretty good picture of what to expect tonight. They want to run the ball, but more importantly, they want to keep the ball away from.
Yeah, that's a strategy we've invoked many times in my career, especially going against schools like St. Aug and others. And a lot of schools have been very successful. The best way to stop a team from scoring is keep their offense off the field. And if you got to run that play clock down to 1 second every play and get 2 or 3 yards every play and keep the ball and as long as you can and shorten the game, that's a great strategy, especially when you're dealing with numbers, a lot of two-way players. It is still summer, even though it cooled off a little bit, and that's going to help them a little. But it's still going to be hot down there on their turf. So, yeah, I think that's what they're going to have to do.
When you're talking about possessing the football, they have a good place to start with their senior running back, Donovan Camille. Camille at 5'9", 160 pounds, and a senior, 16 carries, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns a week ago. He was really good in their victory over Haynes. And, of course, their quarterback, the senior, Arlen Williams, 6'1", 190. He's a Dartmouth commit. He can run. Last week, a modest 6 carries for 10 yards. He can throw it some, too. He threw for a touchdown a week ago. So those would be the 2 primary guys for Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this quarterback play. I mean, real smart kid. I was watching him in pregame, and he throws a nice ball. And, of course, the running back, I believe I saw on the Internet he was the South Shore Player of the Week or something like that. So, obviously, he can tote it. So, I'm interested to see these 2 guys at work.
As far as Newman is concerned, they're going to spread the well. They run it, they throw it. In terms of running, the senior, James Poche, had a really good year last year, and he backed it up with his first outing this year. 17 carries, 101 yards, and 5 touchdowns in the victory over McMain. And then, of course, the receiving core, which is very good. You're talking about a number of guys. Story Charbonnet, the senior. Also Dylan Hill, a senior. Murray Calhoun, a junior. And Jermone Sutherland, the youngster, the sophomore, also good. So they have 4 good receivers on this team.
Yeah, and they spread it around. Looking at the numbers from last year, I mean, 35, 26. I mean, 35, 26, 43. I mean, you can't really key on one guy. They're going to find the open guy, and that's kind of the beauty of the spread offense. If you try to double one guy, you're going to leave another guy open. You can move guys around, slot to the outside. So, their receiving core is really, really good. I watched them play in the playoffs last year, and they know how to get open. They know how to catch the football, and they know what to do after they catch it. So,
captains meeting at the center of the field. Thomas Jefferson adorning their black look tonight. Black jerseys, white stripes, black pants. Don't ask me to describe the numerals because I'll fail in trying to do so, I can assure you. And then, of course, when you're talking about Newman. They're in the all-white look as the visiting team tonight. White jerseys, white pants, white headgear as well. And their numbers will be a lot easier to read here this evening. The captains for Thomas Jefferson include number 27, Tariq Gray, along with number 81, who is Austin Christian, I should say, and number 52, who is Jacoby Douglas, whereas the Newman captains are number 6, who is Isaac Andry, and number 16, Story Charbonnet, the wide receiver. Officials on the field. Lights are on here to get things started at Haas Memphis. Thomas Jefferson has won the toss. They have deferred, so Newman is going to get the football first here this evening. Interesting decision by Kevin Kelly. By and large, I'm not a coach. If I were, I'd like to defer most frequently, not all the time. Depending on the matchup, I'd like to set the tone at times, but I kind of like getting the ball to start the second half and giving my defense a chance to set the tone early. So Newman will get the ball first. Thomas Jefferson will kick off, and Thomas Jefferson will defend the south end zone here at Haas Memphis Stadium with the artificial turf field. And in good condition on a beautiful night. We'll tell you about the weather coming up here. So just about set to go. It's nights like tonight that make you wish you were still on the field, right?
Yeah, it was a little bittersweet walking down on the field and being in a football game. I'm used to walking up to the press box, so that was kind of old habit. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, and nothing says that I'm never going to go back to the field. But I'm enjoying time with my family, my kids, and but it is good to be here. It is good to be here, watch some high school football.
So fans will be asked to rise momentarily while the playing of our national anthem, as fans filing in on a Thursday night. And obviously it's a non-district game early on in the schedule. Thomas Jefferson continue on next week will be at Lusher, another rivalry game for them in the city of New Orleans, and two good academic institutions once more. Newman moves on next week, stepping up in class to play East Jefferson, an improved team and a 5A team. Should be a very interesting matchup in week 3. But first things first, Thomas Jefferson and Newman here tonight. We mentioned the primary guys for Thomas Jefferson, Donovan Camille along with Arlen Williams. And we talked about the top players for Newman. Defensively, one key player not playing for Newman tonight is their fine defensive end, Brandon Williams. Has a minor injury, likely to return next week, but won't be in action at defensive end tonight. And he's a really good player, had 6 sacks a year ago, and he's not going here tonight, so keep that in mind as we move forward here tonight. But again, they have suitable depth to be able to replace him. And that's one of the notable items. Newman dressing 72 and Thomas Jefferson 36, which is, last time I checked, exactly half of 72.
Yeah, 72 on your roster with that class school. That's
pause
impressive.
now for our national anthem. Thomas Jefferson High School Band performing the national anthem here this evening at Haas Memphis Stadium. Ken Trahan along with Lon Elsie. Glad you're with us tonight here at CrescentCitySports.com and on WRBH 88.3 FM. As mentioned, the lights are on to get things started, and just about ready to get this one underway. It'll start a minute or two late by the clock, but nothing to be concerned with. The weather conditions I alluded to, which are ideal. I mean, this is early September. You got to love this. Skies are perfectly clear. The temperature is 79 degrees and dropping. And here's the best one, the relative humidity. Relatively speaking, it's 42% You got to love it.
Yeah, that's amazing for September. You know, as it kind of cooled down the last couple of days, you know, that's when your kids get excited. They call it, you know, football weather. Football weather's coming in. So, and, you know, it might help Thomas Jefferson a little bit from the attrition standpoint with the 7 or 8 guys they got going both ways. We'll see, but that humidity certainly could be a factor.
And the wind conditions, it's not totally to be ignored, but 8 miles an hour right now, and the wind is out of the south, but it won't be anything significant. I should say out of the north, blowing north to south. We're set to go here. Thomas Jefferson to kick it off. Newman will drop one player deep, and there's an onside kick sideways, and Newman alertly recovers and returns it actually to the 44-yard line. So really good job for Newman by number 23, Eli Abramson, who covered it nicely and advanced it actually to the 44-yard line of Thomas Jefferson. That's where Newman will put the ball in play. Great field position to get things started. 1st and 10 from the Thomas Jefferson 44. An indication there that Thomas Jefferson feels like they've got to do some unorthodox things to have a chance here. The Newman offense led by the junior, Martin Butcher, the running back, James Poche, the wide receivers, Murray Calhoun, Dylan Hill, Story Charbonnet, Jarmon Sullivan. The tackles are Hackett Cummings and Colton Davis. The guards, Kilmoss and Wicker Perlis. Ryan White is the center. 3 receivers set, twins to the left, and a single to the right side, wide side, left side, on 1st down, and 10 yards to go. Snap it over the head of Butcher, picks it up, looks, and he throws, and he's got his man anyway. Inside the 40, broken tackle, 35, 1st down to the 32-yard line, and that is Dylan Hill, or rather Murray Calhoun on the reception. So Calhoun makes the reception, and good job by Butcher to make something out of nothing, a 1st down.
Yeah, Coach Kelly said they were going to drop into coverage, but they got to come and make that tackle.
A gain of 12 and a 1st down for Newman, and they'll go no huddle as they will frequently here this evening. Snap it, throw it outside. That's wide, incomplete. Tight coverage as the intended receiver was Jarmon Sutherland. The pass falls incomplete, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10 yards to go here for the Greenies, opening possession of the game.
Yeah, they need to get that snap down because that's going to throw the timing off on this offense, especially if they start running the zone read off of it, that high snap, quarterback having to jump. That could cause some problems for Newman's offense.
2nd and 10. Trip set to the left side. Single receiver to the right. On 2nd down and 10 yards to go from the 32. Snap it. Butcher fakes it, throws the slant. That's caught. And Sutherland inside the 20 has a 1st down of the 17-yard line. So nice slant pass from Butcher to Jarmon Sutherland, a gain of 15 and a 1st down.
This kid's got a good arm, very accurate, throws a pretty ball, right on the money. Everything he's thrown so far is right on the money.
And they have a lot of timing throws, and clearly that takes a lot of practice. And to have confidence in your quarterback to be able to do it, to run this type of attack, which they obviously do in Butcher. Motion right, fake it, wants to throw it, and does it across the formation to the 20, 15, inside the 15, and down to about the 13. On the reception is Joel Taylor. And Taylor gets about 5 yards on the play from the 17. They're going to mark it to the 13, a gain of 4, so it's 2nd down and 6. Shotgun again, as we'll see throughout. Butcher with a 3 receiver set to the left. Single setback next to him. That's Poche. Snap it. Poche will get his first carry, but he shook a tackle, hit at the line of scrimmage, but battles across the 10, down about the 9, about a yard short of a 1st down. Well, the Jaguars had him in their sights, just couldn't get him on the ground.
Yeah, this early in the season, Ken, you know, a lot of times defenses struggle with the tackling just because you don't go live a lot, especially with the numbers that Thomas Jefferson has. They're not going to hit a lot in practice probably, so tackling could be an issue early on.
There's a 3rd down, conversion down, and a short 2 from the 9-yard line. Butcher with Poche next to him in shotgun. Twin receivers to either side. Now they'll put Poche to the quarterback's left. Possible blitz off the corner. Here it comes. Butcher reads it, throws a corner route. It's caught for a touchdown. And the Greenies jump on top, 6-0. Beautiful corner route to Story Charbonnet. Just perfect timing on that.
Yeah, I was watching the coaches on the sideline, and they did a little slow down there. Kind of had a little check-in, saw the blitz coming, saw man coverage, changed the play, went to the pass, and with the man coverage, that corner route was wide open.
So Butcher connects on the 9-yard touchdown pass to Charbonnet, and now the extra point attempt forthcoming by Sam Moses. Out of the hold of Butcher. Snap good, spot good. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 10:13 to play in the first quarter, it is Newman on top of Thomas Jefferson. 7-0. Impressive start for the Greenies.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at Coach Kelly's decision to defer and get on defense and then to kick the onside kick. That's obviously something they worked on all week. But, you know, shortening the game, you certainly don't want to give Newman a short field at the same time. So hopefully Thomas Jefferson can do something here offensively with the ball and move it a little bit, keep the clock running, and keep that offense off the field because they made that look relatively easy right there.
Well, again, a short field was the key. 6 plays, 44 yards, taking 147 off the clock. And as I said, Lon, I mean, I'm sure that they felt like they had to do something that was unorthodox here. You know, most people would feel Newman is the better side in terms of, you know, talent overall in this game. So you can certainly understand that. And now the Greenies
absolutely
kick it off here.
Absolutely. I mean, he worked that all week, I guarantee you. He said, we're going to onside, we're going to try to get a cheap one, and no doubt whatsoever.
Moses to kick it off. Thomas Jefferson will have twin receivers deep. Moses puts his right foot into it and drills it down the middle very deep and into the end zone. A big weapon in high school and a touchback, and the Jaguars will start from their own 20-yard line, and the Jaguar offense comes onto the field, and they'll be led by the senior Arlen Williams, and Williams will have outstanding running back at Donovan Camille behind him. Donovan Gibson at running back as well. The center is Edgar Valerie. The guards are Joshua LaBeouf and William Harper. The tackles David Foster and Peyton Mitchell. The tight end is Sterling Alexis. The wide receivers Seth Jackson and Cody Cretini for Kevin Kelly's Jaguars.
Oh yeah, Ken, that a kicker who can put that ball in the end zone on the kickoff with the rule in high school is automatic touchback. That's a defensive coordinator's best friend right there. 20-yard line every possession.
Line up with twins in the backfield next to the quarterback and shotgun. Gonna fake it, run the option right. Cuts it in, nice cut across the 25 and a first down across the 30 is Williams and out to the 32-yard line. Nice execution on the option.
Oh yeah,
Arlen Williams and a first down.
I mean, when you're defending that option, everybody's got to be on the same page. One guy messes up his assignment, first down, 12-yard gain.
So Williams for 12 and a first down to the 32-yard line. Break the huddle, wide side, left side of the field. Twin receivers, one to each side. On first down, gonna run it left, bounce it outside, in trouble, and hit for a loss on the play. Outstanding penetration and pursuit. The ball carrier was 22, Donovan Camille, and the outstanding play in the open field made by Will Raynor.
Yeah, he stretched it out well, made him bounce to the sideline, running sideways. Anytime you run sideways, that's not good for an offense.
Loss of 4 to the 28. It's second down and 14 yards to go as we play with 9:15 and counting first quarter. 7-0 Newman on top.
You can see Thomas Jefferson's in no hurry to get out of the huddle. They break the huddle with about 12 seconds on the play clock, trying to run that clock as much as possible.
Second and 14. Gonna run it inside right now, bouncing it outside again, and in big trouble for another big loss. Hit back at the 22-yard line with absolutely nowhere to go with Stevenson, and again, bouncing it outside. Not the best idea thus far.
No, Newman's doing a good job plugging up the middle. The Thomas Jefferson offensive line's not getting a whole lot of movement. Not much there. The backs are trying to bounce it, and Newman's out there outflanking them.
So it's going to be back to the 22 where it's 3rd and 20. Unenviable down to have to play here for the Jaguars on their own 22-yard line. Taking their time breaking the huddle. Again, one team no huddle, the other's going to take their time.
They'll be lucky to get this one off.
2 seconds, 1 second, and where's the timeout? Didn't get it, or did they? Yep,
Nope.
they didn't get it at all. That's going to be a delay of game penalty against Thomas Jefferson. Can see that happening with the long huddle they had.
Yeah, I mean that's the catch-22 right there. I mean, if you're going to do that, and it's a great strategy. Certainly the J. Roths of the world have proven that over the last 20 years. But if you're going to do it, you got to make sure you get that snap off, because timeouts are wasted and 5-yard penalties are just going to put you deeper in the hole.
You won't recognize Jay Roth's offense.
That's what I'm
you see them
hearing.
this year.
I went and visited with him the other day. He said, "Man, I don't even know what we're doing."
and you know him very well. He's about as low key as it gets, and understated, and doesn't really take the credit, or seek the limelight. So he's telling the truth, I'm sure. Here's a draw play, no fake draw. Going to throw it. Williams in heavy trouble. Throws it down the sideline.
wow.
Caught. Going to be short of the first down, but a major gain out to the 36-yard line. Williams, under heavy pressure, somehow got it to Sterling Alexis, the tight end, who got it all the way up to the 36-yard line, a gain of 19, but it's still short of the first down.
Yeah, not that things would have been the same, but you don't take the 5-yard penalty and maybe it's a first down.
Changes everything. So 19 yards, but still short of the first down in a punting situation here for Thomas Jefferson. And the regular punter is out.
Yeah.
So keep this in mind. We were watching earlier, and it was not the prettiest sight.
Yeah, even Coach Kelly said it's going to be. And
he got one off the side.
How he got that off, Ken,
bounces
I
and
have
hits
no
it about
idea.
the 40. He just got the punt off under heavy pressure, and he actually did a good job to kick it to the Newman 39. Might have bounced a little bit more, but one of the Jaguar players accidentally touched the ball. And Newman will get it. You're going to mark it to the 43, say he touched it there. So with 6:42 to play in the first quarter, 7-0 Newman, and the Greenies get it at their own 43-yard line.
And great field position again. In this spread offense, Ken, they're going to take what the defense gives them. And if they think they can throw and dink and dunk and throw short passes, they're going to throw. If they think they can run, and Nelson's going to do a good job of reading that and seeing what he's got.
Fake to Poche. Going to throw it down the sideline. Deep and incomplete. Good defensive play made.
Nice play.
Pass intended for Charbonnet, but a really good job defensively to stay at home. And Darnovan Camille, playing both ways, stayed home and made a nice play.
Yeah, they tried to run the rail there up the sideline, and he stayed deep and got right on top of it. So good play by him.
So it's second down and 10 yards to go as a result. From the 43-yard line. Shotgun Butcher. Poche next to him. High snap.
Bad
It's going to
snap.
go over his head. Picks it up on the run. Rolling right. Looking.
Good
got
block.
a big block. Stops, looks, throws, and there's a flag for the block. Pass caught by Charbonnet. Great throw, but they're going to bring it back. I don't know. The block looked pretty good.
Yeah, it
from
looked
here.
pretty clean to me, Ken.
But they call a personal foul, so this is coming back.
I wonder if it was like a helmet-to-helmet thing or something.
Could have been. Boy, Butcher made something out of nothing again, didn't he?
Yeah, they got to do something about that snap, though. At week 2, you shouldn't be having that problems. If you're a spread team, you shouldn't be having snap problems this far along after going through 2 days in August camp and jamboree scrimmage week 1. That'll absolutely kill you in a spread offense.
I'm going to mark this one off from the spot of the foul, so this
Yeah,
is
it's
going
a
to be a
big
massive
penalty.
penalty back to the 14, which means a 29-yard infraction, as it turns out. 29-yard penalty. You talk about a drive changer, right? Wow.
Yeah,
All the way back to the 14-yard line. So you talk about
That's a
a
big-
down you don't like. It's now 2nd and 39.
Yeah, it's a big break for Thomas Jefferson. They just need to make tackles here, and they'll get some good field position out of it.
Jaguars with a 3-man front. Butcher with twin receivers, 2 to each side. 4
Again,
receiver set.
Yeah, they're checking off again.
Do this a lot with Butcher. Their quarterbacks are asked to do it frequently, and they do a good job. Butcher going to run it with Poche inside. Shook a tackle, shook another tackle, and fights his way forward to about the 19 before he's driven back. Good job by Poche to pick up 5 yards.
Good job by Thomas Jefferson. Only giving up a couple yards and putting them in third and real long. And if they just play sound defense here, they're going to get good field position out of it.
I'm interested to watch this. They have not taken the water break, which is not mandatory in September. So we've well past the halfway mark, the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, I think the
5:33
rule
counting.
states, though, that they're not going to break up a drive, but this isn't much.
Going to throw it wide left. That pass is caught, but it's short of a first down as the pass was caught by Story Charbonnet.
Yeah, same type of route from the touchdown, a deep corner route. Flattened it out, threw it to a good spot, but just way too far to get the first down. I mean, they're still, 15 yards short?
A 23-yard completion, but short of the first down. So a punting situation, the penalty just killed them on that particular drive. So punt formation, got it off. Nice punt. And they let it bounce. Two twin safeties, and they let it bounce in between them. That's going to cost Thomas Jefferson 15 yards.
Yeah.
In a roll. I mean, if you have two back there, that's the whole idea. Somebody's got to catch it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they lost a good 15 yards on that exchange. I mean, they could have come up and got the ball at least to about the 30-yard line.
So disappointing in that particular aspect that they lost the ball there.
Yeah, Newman flipped the field position on right there.
Right. So it is 4:59 to play in the first quarter, and it's 7-0. Newman on top of Thomas Jefferson. Ken Trahan, Lon Elsie with you. And we're at Hoss-Memphis Stadium. A brief power outage there for a moment. Somebody knocked the plug out. That happens, but we're good. From the 15-yard line, going to fake it, and Williams keeps it left. Again. It's open again to the 20. Steps around a tackler, 30. Stays in bounds, 35, 40. Nice run by Arlen Williams all the way to the 40-yard line and a first down. Boy, the option looks good, and he's an impressive-looking athlete.
They've run it twice and gotten big yards. Run it again.
You bet.
Don't get fancy. If it's working, don't stop going to the well.
Beautifully done. 25 yards and a first down.
I think you're getting the heat and humidity right here, huh? Yep.
I think they forgot is what happened. You're supposed to take it at the halfway mark. We've got 4:49 to play here in the first quarter.
Hey, well, it's early season for the refs, too.
They just figured it out and said, I think we need to take one of those heat and humidity breaks here. So they did, albeit late, but still good. And they take it with 4:49 to play in the quarter, 7-0. Newman on top. Ken Trahan, Lon Elsie with you from Hoss-Memphis Stadium. That was a 25-yard run, as mentioned, by Arlen Williams. He's got 2 carries and 37 yards. Sounds to me like he needs to carry the football a little bit more.
Let me tell you, I would let him carry it if that's his run per carry, his average per carry. Yes, absolutely. He's a good-looking player.
He is indeed a good-looking player. And if you want a bank that was ranked among the top in the nation for business banking, well, Hancock and Whitney Bank has you covered with nearly 200 locations across the Gulf South. Stop by today. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. All right, thanks to Hancock and Whitney Bank for their support of our games here on CrescentCitySports.com and for everything that they do in the community. It is deeply appreciated. On 1st and 10, counterplay left. Bounce it outside with room. 40, 45 to the short side. The play works to about the 47-yard line. So 7 yards on the carry. And this is Donovan Gibson with his first carry of the game.
Yeah, that time Newman sent a blitz up the middle, so they didn't have that linebacker pursuit from the inside out, and they were able to bounce it and get some yards outside.
Stepped out of bounds, stopped the clock with 4:42 to play. 2nd down and 3. And when you have over pursuit, it's usually going to be to the strong side or the wide side of the field. They went short side there and found some room. Wide side remains the right side. Ball on the left hash on 2nd down and 3. Thomas Jefferson at its own 47. And again, the rifle formation here. Williams will give it off to Camille. He's in deep trouble, and he's down at the line of scrimmage. The penetration was too much as number 9, Liam Rowan, was there for Newman to put him down.
Yeah, he needs to hit that hole a little bit harder. He's kind of stutter stepping right after he receives the football on the handoff, kind of bounce it. There was a little something in there. I think if he'd have put his nose in it a little bit better, especially on a 2nd and short situation.
Now 3rd and 3. Do you go back to what's been good for you here, to the option or the counter option?
They hadn't stopped it yet, Ken. I don't see why not.
Twins left, rifle formation again. With 2 backs, one directly behind the quarterback, one next to him. Take the snap, going to run it inside left. That's not going to happen. No gain again. Newman's all over it, and Thomas Jefferson's going to have to punt the football as just nowhere to go. Just a host of white shirts engulfing Gibson, and he just didn't have any chance to get anything
like
going
they might
because
go for
Ryan
it, Ken.
White was there defensively, and he put him down. So it's 4th down and 3, and they're thinking about it. Now a call timeout. So timeout Thomas Jefferson with 3:33 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Newman, and Kevin Kelly will talk it over with his team.
Yeah, this is one of those situations, like you said, on the onside kick. If you're going to have a chance, you're going to have to pull out all the stops. If you got a play that you know this week you feel good about and you think you can pick up 3 with it, might not be a bad situation to call it right here. You dug yourself out of the hole a little bit with the big run on the option. Certainly the option wouldn't be a bad call here. Corners are playing a little off, maybe a quick little hitch at the sticks. Quarterback can throw the ball a little bit, but you're going to have to take some chances to win this football game for sure.
So 4th and 3, and they're thinking about it. They'll see.
Looks like they're going to punt.
After the discussion, they'll try to play field position. Keep in mind their regular punter is not in action tonight, which obviously changes the dynamic. And first time around, came close to blocking it, but a good job to get it off. And they'll try to make sure that happens again here. Newman with pressure, and again just got it off. Spiral bounces at the 25, goes inside the 20. That worked out well, and we'll be down at about the 17. So good job.
Yeah, I know Coach Kelly was very concerned about his punting game tonight, but that was a good punt.
So the Greenies will start with their 3rd possession of the game with 3:21 to play in the first, leading 7-0 from their own 17-yard line.
Thomas Jefferson's going to have to get some things going on offense, kind of keep this defense on the field, keep this defense off the field. I know a lot of two-way players, but still, you don't want to get worn down on defense because this offense can take advantage of that very quickly.
3 receivers right, a single to the left. Butcher with Poche next to him on 1st and 10 from the 17. Going to throw the quick hitch outside. Charbonnet caught it. And a short gain. Good defense. Stops him for a very short gain of 2 yards, and a nice play made by number 2, Kevin Stevenson.
Yeah, the corner did an excellent job right there. He kept his outside leverage, didn't let that receiver pin him to the inside, and when the receiver bounced it outside, he was right there waiting for him.
2nd and 8 on the gain of 2. Actually, a gain of 1. 2nd and 9. From the 19-yard line. Snap it, running inside, big hole Poche. 20, 25, 30. First down, cuts to the 35. Bangs hard out to about the 40. Poche had room, and he got the most out of that. First down for Newman, a gain of 21.
Yeah, the nose guard slanted hard to the short side of the field right there, and running back saw it, made a quick cut back, and that's where the big game came from.
Gain of 21 to the 39. And a first down for the Greenies is Poche. Now has 3 carries for 30 yards. Here's a draw play. Poche has a nice cut, another nice cut, but still only gets about 3. Good job by Thomas Jefferson defense of staying home and not giving up the cutback there. Hold them to a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, they're fighting hard out there. You know, they're fairly well coached, and they're doing a good job. They're recognizing their keys.
Douglas the tackle. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. Newman at the 42 at 2:05 and counting here in the first. 7-0 Greenies on top. Trip set to the right. Watch the wide side of the field. Single receiver to the left. That is Dylan Hill on 2nd and 7. Butcher gives it to Poche with room to the left. 45, 50, and a first down as he goes out of bounds in Thomas Jefferson territory at about the 48-yard line. Gain of 10 or 11 depending on the mark here, and a first down for the Greenies, but there is a flag behind the play, which means it's coming back, likely for holding.
Yeah, it was right at the point of attack when the running back bounced it outside.
So 2nd big penalty on the Greenies here. Going to cost them dearly once more. And again, a spot foul, so it's going to be marked off from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, as an offensive line guy, I used to always get under my skin when those running backs didn't read the block well, and they'd bounce it and leave that lineman hanging out to dry, and his hands are inside, but separation, and then there comes the 10-yard penalty, and then you got to chew the lineman out.
Yeah, that is a 12-yard. I hear you. 12-yard infraction, spotted the foul, so it's 2 penalties for 41 yards on Newman, which have really stopped the Greenies thus far. Second down and 19 from the 30-yard line. Butcher retreats, going to throw it underneath. That's caught by Sutherland to the 35. Middle of the field, 40. Kept his balance, 45. And down with what looks like a first down at midfield. Sutherland, good athlete, a sophomore, makes a fine running catch.
Newman looks like they're going fast now, picking up the tempo a little bit.
Gain of 20 and a first down to midfield as the clock ticks down to 1:17 and counting in the first. 7-0 Newman. Butcher the snap. Going to run Poche with a big hole to the 45. Bounces it outside. Did a good job. He's at the 40. Got a block. 35, 30, 25. Out of bounds near the 20. And another Newman first down. And yet another flag down on the play, behind the play. And this is likely coming back yet again. Newman just can't seem to avoid these major penalties early in this game.
You actually have another penalty flag where the Thomas Jefferson player pushed the Newman player out of bounds.
Which could be offsetting if that's the case, and that means you'd play it over again. So the officials will sort this out with 59 seconds to play in the first quarter.
What you see too, I'm watching in the trenches right now, and Newman's line's kind of taking control of the line of scrimmage. All 3 of the Thomas Jefferson defensive linemen were getting driven back. Maybe that fatigue is starting to wear in.
So they're having a long conversation here about this one, trying to determine what the decision would be. Finally, we'll get the indication. Personal foul, face mask on Thomas Jefferson. Might be 2 fouls on the Jaguars. And personal foul against Thomas Jefferson. So 2 fouls on the play against the Jaguars. They'll step it off and see where it ends up.
Yeah, they'll both get enforced because one was during play and one was a dead ball penalty.
Poche ran it to the 19, gain of 31. And now they'll step it off. And we'll see where it ends up. If they half the distance on both, it's going to be first and goal with a lot of opportunity here for Newman to score. It's going to end up at the 5-yard line, so in all 14 yards worth of penalties on Thomas Jefferson on the play. It's first and goal from the 5.
Yeah, penalties playing a big role in this game for both sides. Newman getting driven back last drive, and now Thomas Jefferson giving up big time field position.
First and goal at the 5-yard line. A couple of first downs by penalty there. And Newman with a great chance to add to the lead right now. Poche, the running back, and they line up under center for the first time. Fake it, roll left. Butcher looking, running out of room. He throws, and it's off the hands of the receiver and incomplete. In and out of the hands of Liam Rowan, who couldn't hold on. And then
Great.
Thomas Jefferson defensive back got a hand on it.
Yeah, great coverage by Thomas Jefferson. Looked like they were in a man scheme, deep down inside their own end zone. Good job by them.
So it's second down and goal to go. Seth Jackson got a hand on it for the Jaguars, but he could not pull it in. Second and goal from the 4 officially. Butcher under center is going to run the stretch play right with Poche. Looks for the block, goes to the corner, and he will score, but another flag down, and you know it's coming back for holding yet again. Well, you see holding on stretch plays more than any other play, don't you?
Well, because it's a wide play, and you teach your linemen to get their hands inside, but as that defender starts to stretch it out, your hands get separation, the referees see it, and then it comes.
So they're going to walk this off. Face mask is the call.
Oh,
against
wow.
Newman. Interesting. Don't see that much on the offense.
No.
Had to be reaching again. It had to be inadvertent. Line of scrimmage was the 4.
I didn't know there was a 5-yard face mask. I thought everything was 15.
So they're going to, how can the ball end up at the 5 with a face mask?
The penalty was right at the goal line.
Had
yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
So 3 penalties for 46 yards. had to be at the goal line. So with 26 seconds to play in the quarter, they'll try it again. 2nd and goal for the 5. Butcher, a lot of time, wants to throw. Corner route, and is going to be caught. A diving catch for the touchdown. Beautiful throw against good coverage. And the touchdown throw was there to Story Charbonnet, and Newman increases its lead to 13-0.
I really like that Charbonnet kid. He impressed me in that playoff game last year against Dunham, and he just runs great routes. He's got great hands, great presence on the field, knows exactly what to do. Excellent football player.
So a 5-yard touchdown pass, 2nd touchdown pass of the game for Butcher. And both to Charbonnet. This one from 5 yards out. And it's 13-0 with the extra point to come. Moses once again to try that. Snap good, spot is down, the kick is in the air. Moses hits it high, hits it true, and hits it through. So with 2 seconds to play in the first, it's now Newman 14-0 over Thomas Jefferson. Impressive looking drive. They had to overcome a lot of penalties.
Yeah, and then they got some breaks with some penalties on Thomas Jefferson too. So, it's still week 2. Errors on both sides. As a coach, you don't want that to happen. You want to be as crisp as you can by the time you're hitting this part of the season, because for most teams, district's not that far away, and you want to be, on all cylinders when you get to that point. But certainly, getting tired, Thomas Jefferson's side, that could play a role in it with the penalties. It's just tough as a coach when you see all those mistakes happening on the field, and it's very frustrating.
That's a 7-play, 84-yard drive and 3:19 off the clock, capped by the 5-yard touchdown pass from Butcher to Charbonnet. 14-0 Newman. 2 seconds left in the quarter, barring a penalty. This will be the final play of the first quarter.
Yeah, the quarterback from Newman, he throws a pretty ball. As tight a spiral as you could be.
Kick is fielded at the goal line, so it's returnable to the 5, 10, 15. The horn sounds and tackled at about the 15-yard line. And Thomas Jefferson will start from there as the first quarter has come to a close with our score. Newman 14 and Thomas Jefferson nothing. We'll take a timeout, back in a moment. You are watching and listening to Thomas Jefferson football on WRBH 88.3 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com.
Vaccinate.
Quarter begins. Here's a throwback pass caught, but it's going to be a loss on the play. Williams threw it across the formation, got it to his receiver Camille, but he's tackled for a loss. Back to the 11, a loss of 4, where it's going to be 2nd down and 14 yards to go.
Yeah, it's a sprint out and then a throwback screen to the other side of the field. It just took too long to develop. The ball floated there and just gave the Newman defenders enough time to get there and pursue.
So Camille unable to get anything out of it. Loses 4. It's 2nd down and 14 from the 11-yard line. Snap it. Going to run it inside right, and another loss coming. Just too many white shirts overwhelming the front for the Jaguars, and no chance on the play for Gibson, who gets tackled for a loss.
Yeah, they need a first down really, really bad right here. Just to keep that Newman offense off the field. But again, in the hole, you don't want to take any chances. You're on your own 9-yard line, 3rd and 16. a draw maybe a little more quickly developing screen, or you take a shot. Maybe you just throw one up there to somebody, see if they can run and go get it.
So it's 3rd down and 16 from the 9. Newman showing blitz, and they get movement up front by showing that, and a false start against Thomas Jefferson will cost them 4 more.
Might change your play call here, going from third.
Actually, they're marking it off against Newman.
Yeah.
So they drew movement, but
yeah, I think Newman jumped
So they
into
jumped
the
to the neutral zone.
first, but that could change your play call here. Now you're 3rd and 10. You might do something a little bit different.
Very much so. 4th infraction, 51 yards on Newman. Rolling right Williams, heavy pressure, throws in the flat. It's caught, but very short gain. Now the ball comes out incomplete. So would have been short of the first down anyway. But it goes as an incomplete pass, and that will result in a Thomas Jefferson punt.
Yeah, that's going to be tough on Thomas Jefferson defense. That's a quick turnaround. They tried to make that play look like the first down play, that sprint out screen. They had a guy out there, looked like they were going to throw the screen, but they threw it to the play side, but Newman wasn't fooled.
So it is punt formation.
Back to punt for the Jaguars, number 64, Chris Sterling.
Once more. Big rush, and somehow it got partially blocked. Imagine that. Newman will get on it at about the 16-yard line. So you've seen the pressure throughout, and this time they got to it, and it was number 22, Calder Schmidt, who blocked the punt.
Yeah, nobody touched him. He ran free. Nobody even got a hand on him. He was a straight line to the punter.
So that puts Newman in business again, who added this 14-0 lead as they will start from the 16-yard line. In Thomas Jefferson territory, as the Thomas Jefferson band plays on.
As an offensive coach right here, quick turnaround, block punt, take a shot at the end zone. Let's see what Nelson does here.
So a 1st down and 10 from the 16-yard line. Snap it. Gonna run Poche right with a lot of room. He's at the 10. He cuts back at the 5. He will score untouched. Poche with a nice cutback scores on a 16-yard run, and Newman's lead is now 20-0. A lot of running room, and he has good vision, doesn't he?
Yeah, he followed his blocker. I love to see when those running backs put their hands right on the small of the back of the offensive lineman saying, hey, lead me through that hole, man. And that's exactly what he did. Made a nice little cut about 5 yards downfield, and nothing but green after that.
Green for the Greenies.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've heard that a few times. Extra point attempt by Moses is up, and it is good. So with 9:50 to play in the first half, it is now Newman 21, Thomas Jefferson nothing. Not the script that Kevin Kelly wanted to see.
No, these 3 and outs are killing them. They're not controlling the ball, and a lot of it has to do with 1st and 2nd down. When you're getting long yardage situations, you can tell that their offense isn't molded to that, to be able to pick up those kind of situations in 3rd and long. I don't understand why they're not going back to the option. Twice they've run it for about 35, 40 yards of total yardage, and we hadn't seen it again. Your best player right now, it looks like, is your quarterback. Let him try to win you the game.
Back to return, number 25, Dominic Gibson.
So Newman will kick it off once again. Kickoffs have been one in the end zone, one right to the goal line. And Moses has it teed up at the 40. Again, twin receivers deep for Thomas Jefferson. This kick is very high and short.
Nobody's
going to get the ball. It's going to bounce on the sideline. A break for the Jaguars, and good field position is coming. Well, that's something that they don't get to work on much, and, well, you got to coach it. When you see a short kick like that, you saw the intermediate guys peeling off. Well, that's not their job in that situation. They've got to go get the football.
Yeah, the player right there on the hash area on that side, he turned and ran to his wedge, and that ball was floating. I mean, it takes a wrong bounce for Thomas Jefferson, and Newman's right back in business on offense at the 20-yard line.
So the Greenies give up field position, 35-yard line for Thomas Jefferson to start as a result of the ball that went out of bounds. With 9:50 to play in the half, the Jaguars need a drive here.
Yeah,
by
they
21.
Yeah, they have to get a couple first downs here, even just for morale and keeping that defense off the field and let something positive happen for them.
Going to run it inside right. A little bit of room and a little push as well. We'll get him about 4 yards. Got a little push up front that time and exposed it for 4 yards. Kevin Stevenson on the carry.
Yeah, if they can do that, they can get something going. It's 4-yard gain and running that clock, keeping offense off the field.
2nd and 6 from the 39-yard line on the gain of 4 by Stevenson. 9:25 and counting in the first half. 21-0 Newman on top.
The thing is, you look at Newman's defense. They're not threatened by their passing game at all. Every player is within 6 yards of the ball.
Run it inside across the 40 to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. So this will be about 3 yards. That's
much more.
3.
Yeah, it's much more manageable. You're 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. The situations they've been in. So your playbook gets a lot bigger when you're in 3rd and 3 than 3rd and double digits.
Camille on the carry for 3. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 from the 32, the 42-yard line. Going to run it right, and that's not going to happen. No chance. He's smothered at the line of scrimmage, and again, now a late flag comes down. Stevenson got the carry. And we'll check the flag. It came in late.
Yeah, had a couple players, a Thomas Jefferson player, Newman player, kind of pushing and shoving after the whistle. It's just going to be a matter of which one that the referee saw.
If not both, could be offsetting. So the discussion ensues once more, and they'll tell us what the end result will be momentarily.
For Thomas Jefferson, it'd be really good for them if this win against Newman, give them a first down and keep the offense on the field and try to get down there and get some points. Didn't really see their field goal kicker, or the kicker was their punter too, correct? Ken? So
correct, yeah. That's exactly
they're going to have to
the
score
case.
a touchdown.
So Logan Pomeroy not being in this one's going to make a difference. Incidentally, this portion of Crescent City Sports Prep Football is presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. Catch Groovy 7 Friday night and Contraflow Saturday night at Rockin' Bowl. And on Tuesday, it's the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club luncheons at noon. New venue this year for the Quarterback Club. It's at Rockin' Bowl. Thanks to Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl for their support. And we're going to have offsetting personal fouls called here, which are going to offset each other, and it's going to be 4th down because they came after the play. The play counts, and it's 4th and 3.
Yeah, I think if you're Kevin Kelly, you're almost at a point where you got to go for this.
Certainly thinking about it in this situation.
Love to see the option right here. Not saying it's going to work, but I would love to see the option.
They're going
right
for
here.
it. 4th and 3, rifle formation. Williams takes the snap. Going to fake it, roll left, and he overthrows his receiver in the flat. So it was there as Stevenson was open, but unfortunately Williams could not get in the ball, and it will be over on downs to the Newman Greenies.
Yeah, he was there. I mean, good play call by Coach. Just bad pass. Unfortunate for the Jaguars.
So Newman will get it back on the plus side of the field. Greenies with 8:09 to play in the half get it back at the Thomas Jefferson 42. So they've had great field position, have the Greenies, throughout.
Yeah, I think only one of their drives was long, about 80 yards. The rest of them have pretty much been less than half the field. And that's just, when you give an offense like this, as prolific as it is and what they can do, and you shorten that field, it's going to be easy for them tonight.
From the 42-yard line of Thomas Jefferson, Greenies operate with Butcher in shotgun and a man in motion into formation. They run a draw play left with Poche. He's hitting the backfield, shook a tackle, and fights forward to the 40. Still good defense on the play by the Blackshirts, who were all over him there and weren't going to give him any ground. He managed to get 2 yards before being tackled by Gibson.
Yeah, he's a strong player, man. He hasn't come down in arm tackle yet. The first guy hasn't brought him down all night. He's a good hard runner.
Big kid, 6'2", 205, a senior, good year last year. Rushed for 746 yards and 11 touchdowns. 2nd and 8. Motion in the formation, and a quick pitch goes that way with room. And a cut to the outside beautifully at the 35-30. First down inside the 30 and down to about the 25-yard line is Murray Calhoun, who made a good move to get there. It's a gain of 15 for Calhoun and a first down.
Yeah, the last two plays, they ran a motion from the inside receiver across the formation. The first play, they did it to see what Thomas Jefferson was going to do. They did nothing on their coverage, didn't roll, and then came back with it, pitched it to him, nobody there.
First down and 10 to the 25. Calhoun got the carry, and his first carry was for 15 yards. Snap it. Butcher throws outside to Charbonnet, gets a block, and goes outside and picks up 4, maybe 5 yards on the play. And we get another flag on the other side of the field, so hold everything. Away from the play, personal foul on Newman's going to bring it back.
Personal foul.
So that's been the one negative for Newman thus far. Big penalties against the Greenies in this game.
Nelson can't be real happy about the way his team's playing with the penalties. He's got some big games coming up that he's going to have to play clean football, and I'm sure he's going to get it corrected. I mean, he's going to make sure that that's not going to happen again. Certainly coaches have a way of persuading their players to make sure that it doesn't happen again at practice the next week. Running a little bit extra, doing a little bit of extra work. Because you don't want to see that from your football team, especially on your offense.
And again, it's a 19-yard infraction because it's from the spot of the foul. Yeah. So it's back to the 45, and it's going to be 1st and 29. Well, they've had a lot of these, haven't they?
Yeah.
Tough stuff to play it that way.
Yeah, again, like I said, 3rd and 3, your playbook opens up. 1st and 29, it gets real small.
And now we get a flag for delay of game. They're going to go back 5 more. So didn't see the play clock, obviously, in that situation.
Yeah, you just got to do something safe here. Run the football, throw a little quick hitch. Newman hasn't really taken any chances down the field. The one time they did, it was broken up. But I guess that goes with Coach Kelly saying, we're gonna dare him to run. We're gonna play deep and play coverage.
6 penalties, 75 yards. Poche wants to throw deep down the middle. Wide open, caught. Charbonnet, 25. He's at the 20. He's going to be bumped out of bounds with a first down at the 14-yard line. 31 yards. Butcher to Charbonnet.
Or you throw it deep on 1st and 34. Good job by the receiver. He split the safeties there. Great throw by the quarterback right down the middle of the field. Put it on the money. Big play for Newman.
They get it down to the 15-yard line officially, so 35 yards and a first down. On the 35-yard completion, Newman in business. Poche gets it on a draw, cuts it inside. He's at the 10, cut back at the 5. He's at the 2-1, touchdown, Poche. Poche with 15-yard touchdown run, and Newman goes up 27-0. Yeah. Boy, he has the hole, but boy, does he make nice cuts.
He does. He's got great vision. Pad level stays low, so you attack him on the tackle, and he's gonna fall forward, and he follows his blocks. He knows the scheme. He knows what he's doing out there, and he's just a good hard runner.
15-yard touchdown run for Poche, his 2nd touchdown of the game, and it's 27-0. Moses for the extra point.
Yeah, it's the trenches that Newman's just starting to take control up front. Especially with that 3-man line that Thomas Jefferson is playing.
Kick is up by Moses, and it is good. So it's 6:17 to play in the first half. 28-0, Newman on top. You can continue with your thought?
Yeah, I just, if you're going to win the battle at the line of scrimmage, that's everything in football. And unfortunately, Newman's just starting to have their way running the football. The Thomas Jefferson kids are fighting. They're playing hard out there. And a lot of times they're in the right spot. It just at times they're getting outmanned, and that's just you got so many kids. I'm watching it, change of possession, special teams, and you got kids that are just standing on the field. They're not leaving it, and that's tough, especially when you looking over there in green and white, and they got 75 guys on their squad. So, but the kids are playing hard, and that's all you can ask. And Coach Kelly said before the game, you got to play tough competition to teach your kids how to get ready to play tough competition and get better. And it's a learning experience. It's never fun as a team, as a coach, as a player to stand on the sideline and a game go like this. But You use it the next week. You teach your kids about it. And you explain to them there's a reason behind it, and that they'll be better down the road. And the coach is a good coach, and he's done great things at Thomas Jefferson, and he has a plan, and it's going to be good for him down the road when they get to district.
So it's 28-0. I think they're taking the water break here. I mean, the way this is taking place.
They got it at half this time,
here.
Kenny. 6 minutes.
There you go. That's why it's taking a while for play to continue here. Thanks to Del Agnew and Natalia and all the folks at WRBH for making this possible on radio tonight. And of course, best site on the web is CrescentCitySports.com. That's CrescentCitySports.com. We encourage you to go there daily, go there often. Just go there and enjoy the enormous amount of prep coverage that's generated through CrescentCitySports.com.
Oh, yeah, Kenny, I told you earlier, I follow you on Facebook, and it's amazing. I asked you if you ever sleep, and your answer was no, because you are die hard with the prep sports, and we all really appreciate that.
My wife can actually vouch for the non-sleeping part, so unfortunately I wake her up a lot. Kickoff to the 8-yard line, upfield to the 10, 15, 20, and a hole. 25-30, tackled in the open field at the 33. Good return there. Almost popped.
After the big return by Seth Jackson.
But those are
Seth Jackson on the return.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that can kind of get you going, get the kid. Nothing really good's happened on that side, and get a little spark, and kids get a little excited and feel good about themselves, and maybe make something happen.
Now, we love Thomas Jefferson, love Kevin Kelly, a great friend and a wonderful school and program. But about those numbers, got to work on that aspect. If you hear me hesitating to call a name, it's because the numbers are virtually impossible to read.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with the lights. And
here's a pitch left, trying to get the corner. Gibson, he won't get there. Anything wide has been a problem.
Yeah, Newman's just stringing it out. Again, the option has been your best play. Your quarterback's your best player. He's the best-looking kid on your side.
Gibson loses 3 yards to the 30. It's 2nd and 13.
Yeah, and Newman's playing so close to the line of scrimmage. Their safeties are flying down the hill. You look at them right now, Ken, the deepest guy's at 6.
Snap it. Before the snap, they wanted to run a counter play, but flag comes down, I believe, offsides on Newman.
Yeah, I think the nose guard jumped in a little early.
Offside Newman. 5-yard penalty.
Again, another penalty for Newman.
Well, that's what Nelson Stewart's team's going to be, I guarantee you. He's going to have something to talk about here.
Oh, at halftime? That's what he's going to be talking about. It's 28-0, and that will be the emphasis, the penalties, 100%.
7 penalties and 81 yards.
Yeah, that's tough. And you got to find something. You got to find something to get on them about, and that's certainly the thing that's been the negative for the Greenies tonight.
2nd and 8, they do run the counter right, and Newman's all over. Nice cutback.
There you go.
Good run, Camille. 40, 45, 50. Shows a lot of speed, and he's dragged down at the Newman 46 with a first down. Well done. That's a gain of 19 yards for Camille. Nice vision, nice cutback. I think good speed.
Yeah. They ran the counter to the wide side of the field. It was all clogged up like Newman's been doing, and he saw something back to the short side, and the linemen held their blocks for just long enough, and big gain.
Donovan Camille, 19 yards and a first down for the Jaguars at the Newman 46-yard line.
Maybe that kickoff return will spark them a little bit, get them excited. You're starting to see the kids on the sideline get excited a little bit. And
4:41 to play in the half. 28-0 Newman on top. Ken Trahan, Lon Elsie with you. Newman showing blitz. Here they come. Counter play right, cut back, and nothing there. Well, if you can break that first wave when they're blitzing, you're going to have a lot of room to run, but unable to do it. Just a few too many white shirts there and just not enough room to operate.
Yeah, that's why they popped the last play. Newman has got everybody up at the line of scrimmage, so if you can get to that second level, you're going to have a big play. It's just a matter of maintaining your blocks long enough for that to happen. Newman is blitzing up the middle a little bit, but they do have their leverage because their safeties are playing like linebackers right now. And obviously they're not afraid of Thomas Jefferson throwing the football.
No.
It almost looks like a man coverage here on these two receivers down here at the wide side of the field.
2nd and 10 at the 46. Fake it. Williams wants to throw it. Now he rolls right. Being chased. He's going to throw it outside. Incomplete. Nice job defensively to bat it down. And a really good play made by 22 Calder Schmidt as the pass was intended for Kevin Stevenson. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Good example of the receiver, the scramble drill. He did a good job coming back to the football, working to the sideline. I thought the quarterback could have put a little more zip on the ball and get it there a little quicker, but floated a little bit and gave that corner a chance to come in and break it up.
So it's 3rd down and 10 from the 46 of Newman with 3:48 to play in the half. Newman up 28-0 in control. Jaguars trying to do something about that here.
Yeah, this isn't where Thomas Jefferson has wanted to be.
Fake
There's
it.
the
Williams
option.
runs it right. He's got room. He looks for the pitch, and now he does pitch, and it's a fumble. Goes out of bounds at about the 40. So we'll be short of a first down by about 4 yards, but they'll go for it here. But again, they had some room on the option to the outside, as that's going to be a gain of 6, and it's 4th and 4.
Ken, he should have kept that football.
He should have.
Yeah, he pitched it almost at the first down marker.
Correct, and just turn it up and go north and south and
he
try to get to the marker.
He might have scored. It was
Well,
it was
could have made the first
one-on-one.
down.
It was one defender there on him. Tough.
4th and 4 at the 40. Boy, he's good when he presses the corner, though.
Yeah, again, that's been their best play tonight.
Blitz coming from Newman. Here they come.
There it is
Fake
again.
it. There's the option right. Gets
There
it
it
for a
is.
first down, 35-30. Boy, he's big, strong, and fast.
Run it
Inside
again.
the 30. He's down at the 27. And a first down for Williams and the Jaguars.
It's 4 times they've run it. 4 times it's been positive, big plays.
13 yards and a first down for Arlen Williams, who's looked really good running the football.
Yeah, if you're going to run the option, there's a reason why your best player is your quarterback, because he's got the ball in his hand every play. I know so many defensive coordinators that I've worked with. When you run to play an option team, you make him pitch it, because that's what happens, like the previous play. You fumble. There's a reason he's the quarterback and is in the option, because he's your best player.
1st and 10 of the 27-yard line. Pistol formation. Williams takes the snap. Fakes it, rolls left under heavy pressure. He's going to be sacked. Had no chance off the fake, because right in his face was 52 Ryan White. As soon as he tried to stop and look upfield, he got sacked.
Yeah, he did a great job containing. Didn't go for the veer fake out the pistol, and just kept his leverage on the outside. And when the quarterback pulled it, he was sitting there waiting for him.
First sack of the game belongs to White and Newman.
That's a huge play, because Thomas Jefferson had something going. First downs, field position. They're inside the 30 with a chance to do something. Things were going good, and big loss.
Concept was good, but again, somebody misses a block, you've got a problem.
Yeah, and, the guys on the other sideline coach too, so sometimes they get you.
2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line. Williams surveys, and they just got the play off. Rolls right, under pressure again, floats it down the field, jump ball coming, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost intercepted for Newman by number 6. And that's Isaac Andre, who made a good play.
Yeah, Newman's really playing it. It looks like a man coverage, and play action's not going to do a whole lot to fool anybody on the man coverage. Everybody was covered like a blanket right there. It was kind of throwing it up for grabs. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. It's tough on the play. Play action's not going to fool, because everybody's got their man, and they're not looking at the ball carrier or the quarterback.
So it's 3rd down. And 20 yards to go from the 37. 2:07 to play in the half. Williams the snap. Going to run it left. Looking for a block. Trying to get the corner. He does. 35-30. And out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. So he got 10. But it's still going to be 4th down and 10.
Yeah, but you have to go for it here, Ken. I wouldn't even think about doing anything else.
Well, you don't have your kicker
You
anyway.
have no kicker. It's your first time you've really done anything to threaten Newman's defense field position-wise. Again, most coordinators, it looks like he's going to call a timeout. Most coordinators, you're always going to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 plays for this situation that you like from the film, and now's the time to pull it out. And even if it's a trick play, something you saw. This is the time to use it. Down 28-0 right before half. You got to do something to try to put points on the board. Shame that it's 4th and 10, not a little shorter, because I think the option would be a really good call. But on 4th and 10, I think you're going to have to throw the football, maybe some kind of rub route if you have it in. I don't want to say a pick route because defensive coordinators don't like that, but something where you can maybe bump a defender off enough to give you some space to fit a ball in there. Because in most passing situations, when the receivers for Thomas Jefferson been down the field, Newman's been all over them. So you're going to have to do something to get somebody open. Play action, I don't think, is really something that's going to work here. So you gotta pull something out the hat here. It's a big play for Thomas Jefferson, and they get the ball to start the second half. So if you can score here, and then you made light of that, you made mention of that earlier in the game. If you can score here and get a stop, and then get the ball and get another score, you're only down 2 touchdowns.
Right.
So it's a big play.
4th and 10. Jaguars at the Greenies 27-yard line with 1:59 to play in the half. 28-0 Newman. Jaguars trying to come up with a play here. Wide side, right side of the field. Williams the snap. Going to run it inside for no gain. So after all that, tried to fool him and run it inside and nothing happened. And Newman will get it back on downs. So nothing doing there for the Jaguars and Donovan Gibson.
Yeah, that's a shame for Thomas Jefferson because they really had a good drive going, and quarterback made some plays with his feet. It would have been nice to see him get some points right there. But they really need to buckle down this last 152 and keep Newman out the end zone.
At the 27-yard line, Greenies have time with 1:52 to play in the half. And they still have all 3 timeouts remaining as well, so that's plenty of time for this Newman offense, as we've seen. 3 receivers to the left on first down from the 27-yard line. Butcher retreats, has time, throws down the middle. Charbonnet open at the 40. He's upfield to the 45 and dragged down at about the 47 by a face mask, which is going to mean more yards. Gain of about 21, a first down, and more yards to come.
Yeah, this is a situation where, it's early in the season. You got a chance, with a big lead and to work your 2-minute game. Because when you work it in practice, it's one thing. But, in a game situation, to be able to work it against another team, it's something that you never know when you're going to need it. And certainly this is a time that you could get some reps on it.
Well, Charbonnet's a good player, but Butcher's just putting balls right on the money, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's they talk about LSU in Florida, DBU. You can almost talk about Newman as QBU, huh? I mean, they're always got good quarterbacks who know the system and do it well, exactly what Coach Stewart asked them to do. And he's been pretty mistake-free all night.
20 yards and then the personal foul. Butcher wants to throw underneath. That's caught. Calhoun to the 40 across the field. Shook a tackle, 35. Shook another tackle. Flag down, 30. 25, 20. Bumped hard out of bounds at about the 19, but there is a flag on the play.
If this is against Newman, you might see Nelson go crazy over there on the sideline. Because I know he is not happy about the sloppiness.
No, can't be, and it is another hold against Newman. Wow.
Holding Newman.
So the holding call will be, instead of a big gain, a 10-yard penalty or maybe more, spot infraction again. So it's going to cost him 12 yards here back to midfield. So that's 8 penalties and 93 yards in one half for a team that's normally very disciplined.
Yeah. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the locker room with Newman. It'll be some interesting conversation.
So first down and 22 from midfield with 1:25 to play in the half. Butcher the snap. All kinds of time. Looking, swimming, throwing deep downfield. Man open, Sutherland, touchdown. Jermone Sutherland, 50 yards and a touchdown. No flag, and Newman leads 34-0.
Yeah, he came from all the way on the other side of the field, Ken. He was lined up outside on the wide side of the field away from us. A little bit of a scramble by the quarterback out of the pocket, and just receiver just outran the DB, and quarterback put it on the money. Does he have an incompletion tonight?
He's 10 for 13 for 164 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It doesn't seem like he's had a drop or an incompletion, because every ball he's thrown has been right there.
Moses for the extra point. Newman in total control here. And Moses puts this one up and puts this one through. So with 1:13 to play in the half, Newman 35 and Thomas Jefferson nothing. Well, we knew that it was going to be tough for the Jaguars here this evening, but you got to give Newman the credit the way they have performed here this evening, especially offensively. You take the penalties away, they have been something to behold here.
Yes, they have, and unfortunately the penalties have, dampened things a little bit, certainly from the offensive coach's side. But when they've executed, and it's been sharp. The quarterback is a good player. I can't believe that this is only a second game, true game as a starter, JV player. I mean, and again, that's a testament to Nelson and the job he does and has a program. You talk about coaching your team, but he's established a program at Newman. My son at Holy Cross was on the 5th and 6th grade team last year, and they played Newman, and you could tell that their kids in 6th and 7th grade were doing the exact same thing that I'm seeing here by the varsity, and that's what's going to make you successful.
There's the kickoff by Moses, going to be fielded at the 2. Upfield to the 5, 15, and near the 20, and that's it. A lot of white shirts to stop the return man near the 20-yard line. Seth Jackson on the return.
You got to, you wonder, is Nelson going to use his 3 timeouts and try to get it back again before the half? What's Thomas Jefferson going to do? Are they going to take a shot, or are they going to?
I think they're going to run the football here and try to get to the locker room. Try to regroup.
But with 3 timeouts, I mean, Newman could.
They could stop it.
Yeah, stop it 3 times and get it back again.
As a coach, you always love the ability to preserve timeouts to the half-ending or game-ending situations. It's not easy to do.
No, and in the first half, you have a little bit different, philosophy on it that you can use them.
Run it inside left. Camille to the 20, maybe the 21, picks up 2. No timeout by Newman.
No, it doesn't look like he's going to use them.
So Camille for 2. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. Camille with 5 carries and 20 yards. And barring a timeout, Thomas Jefferson can run one more play and run this clock out. 17-second differential between the game clock and play clock. From the 21. On 2nd and 8. Gonna fake it. Williams throws a slant. It's caught. 25-30 and a first down. If anything, that'll give them confidence. As the pass is caught for a first down by number 88, and that's Torrey Lee, the freshman.
He threaded that one. That was a small little window right there. He stuck that ball right on the money.
So a 12-yard completion by Williams and a first down to Torrey Lee. With 11 seconds to play in the half. And now whistles and flags come down before the snap, likely on Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, left guard moved.
False start, Thomas Jefferson.
That'll cost the Jaguars 5 yards.
The game clock should start right here, so that's probably going to be it for the half.
They don't have to run a play. They do start it and come to the line of scrimmage and might snap it. We'll see. They do get it off. Run it left. And knife down for a loss of a yard on the play was Camille. And that's how the first half is going to end here at Hoss-Memphis Stadium. It's been all Newman Greenies as they lead it by the score of 35-0 over Thomas Jefferson in a very impressive first half by the Greenies.
Yeah, I mean, they did pretty much everything they wanted. They ran the football well. They threw the football well. Deep balls, short passes, screens. Great game plan coming into it. Probably had a pretty good idea that Thomas Jefferson didn't want to give up the big play, was going to play deep in the coverage. And they've taken what Thomas Jefferson's given, and it's been a good first half for Newman.
Well, it has, and players will head to the locker room, and Newman will try to hash out its penalty issues, whereas Thomas Jefferson will try to figure out what they can possibly do to subdue the Greenies with the way things are rolling in this game thus far. It's been tough.
Yeah,
at the half, it's a 35-0 lead for the Greenies.
Coach Kelly, all you can do at this point is go in and say, look, we just got to treat this as a second half. It's 35-0, but we want to win the second half and play as hard as we can, and kind of split it up. A lot of things went bad for us, but let's get some positives. These are the good things that we did. Try to execute those things in the second half. Let's get some points, and that's your goal for the second half. Obviously, this game is pretty much out of hand. From anything you've seen, you don't see some monumental comeback by Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, but they certainly can try to work on some things and do some good things and do some positive stuff on both sides of the football. So you're probably going to see a lot of subs by Newman. Most coaches that I've worked with and been around, that they'll usually let the starters go one series in the second half and then start pulling guys and spotting new guys in here and there. The linemen you kind of want to keep intact the best you can, because that's where it all happens up front. But wouldn't be surprised to see another quarterback in there, a couple of new receivers to start the second half.
So at the half, it's 35-0. Newman on top of Thomas Jefferson. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll visit with Jefferson Parish Director of Athletics, Carl Neene. You are listening to and watching Thomas Jefferson football on WRBH 88.3 FM and through CrescentCitySports.com. Newman leads Thomas Jefferson 35-0. The Jaguar band and flag team performing on the field. And so far, Newman's performed very well on the field to grab this 35-0 bulge at the break. Martin Butcher leading the way, 10 of 13, 164 yards and 3 touchdowns. James Poche has rushed 7 times, 66 yards and 2 scores for the Greenies. It's been all in Williams for Thomas Jefferson. Williams thus far with 6 carries for 56 yards. He's completed 3 of 7 passes for 27 yards to this point in time. But it's been all Newman leading at 35-0. Ken Trahan with Coach Lon Elzey, and it's a pleasure to welcome a good and great friend, Carl Neene, the Director of Athletics for Jefferson Parish, to the broadcast. Carl, listen, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Pleasure to be here.
Always nice when I turn you up there, sir. I turn you up all the time on the original on Friday nights, and we'll be hearing from you tomorrow night on our network of stations across Louisiana. You've got a good one here tomorrow night, John Ehret in Hahnville.
Yeah, we're expecting a really good crowd and great game. Tickets are still available if you're interested in attending.
Well, I mean, Hahnville's going to bring a good crowd. They're
going to bring. Get here early.
They're passionate about their football in Hahnville and in Boutte. That goes without saying. And obviously, John Ehret's got a terrific football team. And it's been tough because our good friends at John Ehret have gone through a tough time. Ray St. Pierre, our good and great friend, who just championed athletics across the board, passed away. And then, of course, the unfortunate circumstance with the coaching change at John Ehret has made it tough. But the kids went out and played very competitive at West Monroe last week, and they are a definitive threat in 5A this year.
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence in Coach Lee, Del Lee, who's the new head coach. He comes with a lot of experience. Most people don't know because he's very quiet that he played in the NFL for 3 years with the Jets, and he coached at McNeese, and so he has a lot of experience, and he's really taking the reins and leading that team and getting them through this time. And of course, as you mentioned, with Coach St. Pierre, beloved school board member, coach in Jefferson Parish for many years, and he was just a true champion for Jefferson Parish athletics, as well as the academic portion for the schools and the students of Jefferson Parish.
I'm glad you mentioned the academic portion, because here we are tonight covering a game involving Thomas Jefferson and Newman. And I'm sitting here thinking, boy, about 25 years down the road, I'd be betting on a lot of these kids in terms of what their life story is going to be in terms of being successful. There's a lot of brain power on this field tonight.
There is, and our magnet schools do a great job of getting these kids into some really competitive colleges. Last year the quarterback from Haynes was accepted to MIT.
Wow.
To go over there and play football. So it's a lot of kids and a lot of scholars that come through that, when you go to the award ceremonies, it's just amazing the GPAs that these students have, with all of the clubs that they're involved in at school. They are our future leaders.
Lon, question or thought for Carl?
That Ehret situation, the hat's off to the kids, because to lose your coach at that point in the season and to go up and play as hard as they did at West Monroe, I mean, that again, I talked about a program earlier in the broadcast, and that's a testament to John Ehret High School and the program that they've built, because that's tough. That's tough to lose your coach at that point.
And one of the things that most people don't know, they also had a principal change at the school with Maria Landry retiring at the end of last year, and Dr. Jared Macon is the new principal, and he's done a tremendous job of putting his stamp on the school now.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, Jefferson Parish athletics has always been quality athletics. I've been coaching for 25 years, and it was always good to play at Jefferson Parish Public Schools, because they were going to be ready to play. They were going to come play hard, and they didn't like Catholics. They didn't like Catholic schools too much, anyways. No. But I always enjoyed. They were going to play clean. They were going to play good football, and that's a testament to the school system and teachers and administrators and so forth, and yourself.
Well, thank you. We follow the direction of our superintendent, Mr. Isaac Joseph, who is very poised and acknowledges the academics, but he also acknowledges, because of his many roles in the parish that he's had through the years, what the extracurricular activities bring to the schools and how much excitement it brings, and he's really on board with everything that we're doing to make sure that the students have a large array of activities to choose from.
Well, and your facilities are great too. I mean, the turf fields, both at East Jeff and West Jeff Stadium, the new field houses that were built, both here at West Jeff and at East Jeff. I know Bonneville got a refurbished field house, so, I mean, you guys are doing everything you can to give these student athletes the best opportunity that they can have, and that's tremendous.
Well, 2 years ago, we put in a package with the board dedicated $405,000 towards athletics and the new equipment. So that's why you see all the new helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms, to make sure that the kids are safe while they're playing also, because we had a lot of equipment that was starting to get outdated. As you know, helmets, they only last 10 years, the shelf life. But we got a good deal with the trade-in, trade-up program, and we traded in all of our old helmets and got new helmets. We bought over 1,000 helmets through the district.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. But we did get a really good price by putting it out in public bid.
Visiting with Carl Nini, the Director of Athletics for Jefferson Parish, at the half. Newman on top of Thomas Jefferson, 35-0. As you look around the parish this year, Riverdale, a new coach, and Willie Brooks, who's a good man and a friend.
Fabulous coach.
I know he'll do a good job at Riverdale, a new coach at Grace King this year. That's been a regular occurrence, but again, maybe an uptick there. You'd like to see that occur. I think East Jefferson's a much better football team with Frank Alello. I think that's a team to really watch this year. They got a veteran team after playing a bunch of young kids last year. They're big up front. They might Newman next week, which ought to be a pretty
Coach
revealing
Alello's
game.
here.
Well, you knew he'd be here. That'll be a revealing game to find out, I think, really about both teams. One team who's big and strong that's going to run it at you. The other who's really going to spread you out and throw it very well.
Yeah, Frank's a real good football coach too, man.
And
I
he
like
learned
Frank
from
a
one
lot.
of the best with Coach Hank.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, and he's going to pound it right at you.
And unfortunately, East Jeff had the week off last week with the victory that they had, so their last game action was in the Jamboree. So I know they're chomping at the bit to get out there. But I know, Ken, when you talked about Grace King, the new coach over there, also the numbers that he has. We actually placed an order this week to order 20 more new helmets for him because he's up to like 60 or 70 kids that are coming out.
At Grace King.
At Grace King.
Wow.
And it's something that they haven't had there for years. I think the roster the last 2 years was maybe 30 to 35. So he's really hitting the halls very hard, getting those kids. Now they just have to believe in him and let the program take time to
Pardon my ignorance, but who is the head coach?
Bryant Holmes.
Brian Holmes, yeah.
He was the defensive coordinator at Bonneville the last couple of years.
Okay.
And he made the transition as a head coach. It's been a good transition. Their athletic director, Sherilyn Scott, has, trying to rebuild that program in all of their sports.
Well, it's good to hear because, you like to see something good happen. At one point, they were really good in baseball. At one point, they had a good basketball program. It's been a while since they've been competitive in football. And then here on the West Bank, right here at West Jefferson High School, a storied tradition, and they've been, a competitive team, but not like they've been in years past. Ellen Cox, second year of Skip Lamoff. Higgins, second year of Kenny Bush. What you've got is a lot of new coaches in the parish.
And their teams are very young. They're playing a lot of sophomores, and it's difficult. You're going to take your lumps, but as those kids mature, you're going to become a better team, and that's what the coaches realize. And they're building programs, and you have to build it and sustain it over a period of time. And hopefully, I think they're in the right track to do that.
Well, you got a situation where you've got some good people in place, and you want to have some stability. Ultimately, if you go with new coaches, you like to see the same guys there 5 years down the road where they can build a program and get something accomplished, because it's tough when you're making changes all the time.
Right. Yeah, if you can't change every other year or every year, because you're not going to – the kids are just going to become disinterested.
You lose them.
Yeah.
You absolutely lose them, 100%.
It's difficult to do, but I think we're, like you said, Ken, we're on the right track getting these coaches – with some time under their belt to put their stamps on the program.
Indeed. So, and then other sports, of course, basketball, always a good sport in the parish. A lot of good teams. Bonneville made a great run last year, obviously, and had a really good team. They'll be really good again this year. And we didn't even mention Bonneville, another new coach in the system there too, and a good guy that I've known for quite some time.
Very, very late hire over there also, but. He has some time in the parish also. He coached at a couple of our schools. First time as a head coach in the parish. And like I said, we expect good things from all of them.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch to see what transpires not only this year but down the road in Jefferson Parish with football. You mentioned basketball, and in terms of baseball, again, that's a sport where there have been good things happen in the past. Storied program at East Jefferson. Manny Baracco did a good job at Bonneville years ago. Grace King, as I mentioned, has had some good teams, and in the not-too-distant past here, Kenny Forsang's a good coach over here at John Ehret. So it's a sport where it's tougher to compete overall, but it's a sport where it can happen, and you've got some good people in place.
And we're going to do some things. We're expanding, as you know, we have the All-Star football game with Orleans Parish. We're expanding that this year. We're going to add volleyball to that. With Orleans. Last year we added baseball and softball, so now we're going to have 6 all-star events between Orleans and Jefferson, and we really want to showcase these seniors and get them out there and kind of also as a thank you to them for the time and effort they've put in over their 4-year career in high school and playing for us.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing you tomorrow night and your reports on the original. We'll have you here at Los Memphis for what should be one of the better games of the night between John Aaron and Hanville. And Carl Naney, want to thank you for the visit. Thank you for your friendship and all that you do for the young men and women. We mentioned a bunch of boys sports here, but there's a lot of girls sports.
Yes.
I do great things here in Jefferson Parish too. But thank you so much, my friend. Go enjoy the second half.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice
All right,
meeting you.
Carl. Appreciate it. Carl Naney, the athletic director here for Jefferson Parish. As we're at the half here, teams are just emerging back onto the field as we look at what's happening here. And it is Newman. I lost my line. There we go. Newman is, of course, on top and control this game by the score of 35-0 at the half. A lot, obviously, we knew Newman was going to be very tough to beat in this game, and you knew things would have to go very well. Thomas Jefferson would have to play extremely well to have a shot. That just hasn't happened to this point.
No, it's a tough situation. But like I said earlier, Coach Kelly's got a plan. Sometimes you got to take your lumps to get to where you want to be. And again, like I said right before the half, or right at the half, it's a new ball game. It's a second half, and go out and execute to the best of your ability and make positive things happen. Don't worry about what happened in the first half. That's over with. You need to go out and do what we practiced all week and do it to the best of your ability and get better. It's almost, being in this situation, you remember when I was the head coach of St. Martin's, this happened a lot. And we used to treat the second half, it was practice. Let's practice to get better against good football players. And that's what you're going to have to do. But Coach Kelly, these kids believe in him. He'll get the numbers up. We talked about numbers. He'll get the numbers up as far as on his roster because he's building a good program. On the other side, your biggest concern obviously was the penalties that we talked about. But right now, as Coach Stewart's probably saying, is that we need to get out of here without any starters getting hurt. And there's significant players getting hurt. So be smart in the guys that you sub in. Get some kids in and get some work. And let's make sure that we get out of here clean with our win and get ready for next week because there's a long season ahead.
Yeah, and you get another very tough opponent next week in Lusher. So, again, you've got to be able to find something positive in this second half to take out of it. That's the big thing is you need to have some sort of confidence and momentum moving forward.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Nelson puts the starters in on offense to start the second half and defense just to see if they can get that clean possession without the penalties and then start subbing in. Thomas Jefferson just got to keep fighting. You're going to see what they're all made of. And I'm sure that, you're going to see him fight all the way to the end of the game.
A few numbers from the first half. Newman, 15 first downs, 4 for Thomas Jefferson. Penalties, Newman, 8 for 93. Thomas Jefferson, 5 for 39. Newman rushed for 80 yards. Thomas Jefferson for 76. Newman passed for 164 yards. And the Jaguars for 27. Total yards, 224 Greenies, 103 Jaguars. Here's the kickoff by Moses. Second half is underway. It's angled toward the left side. It's going to bounce and go out of bounds at the 2-yard line. So Thomas Jefferson will get excellent field position at the 35-yard line to start the second half. So that's a positive development.
It is. Gives you some decent field position. You get it at the 35. I keep saying, put it in your quarterback's hands. He's got it. Let's see what he can do.
So the Jaguars will start from 35 with Arlen Williams. The quarterback, we've seen 3 different running backs: Camille, Stevenson, Gibson. Seth Jackson, Cody Crutini, the receiver. Sterling Alexis, the tight end up front. Valerie, LaBeouf, Harper, Foster, and Mitchell for the Jaguars, who will play first and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, as Thomas Jefferson, just do what you do. Keep doing what you're doing.
Snap it. They're going to run it right, try to bounce outside, and nothing doing. To the line of scrimmage, that's all.
Yeah, you don't want to get fancy. You don't want to start winging it all over the field. You want to keep executing your offense. Again, practice. Get better. Play better. Do the things that you do. You are who you are, and trying to do something that's not you because it's 35-0 is just going to make it, it'll be disastrous. So just keep doing what you've been doing.
Camille, no gain to the 35, and it's second down and 10 for the Jaguars. Opening possession of the second half. Newman up 35-0. Camille in the backfield along with Stevenson with Williams. Williams the snap. Fakes it. Going to run a counter right. Now he's in trouble in the backfield. He's going to be hit. He's going to be dropped for a loss. Not going for the fake at all was 44, James Downing, who made a very good play. That's what you coach. Don't go for the fake. Just stay with it. Be disciplined. Don't break down, right?
Play your assignment. Play your assignment football. I mean, especially when you got a zone read option team. If you start watching the football, that's when you're going to get caught. So, the Newman defender stayed home, played his position, and that's why you had no gain.
So it is third down and 13 from the 32-yard line. Line of scrimmage once again. And then the snap is bad. Quarterback falls on it, and flags fly everywhere. That did not look pretty at all. And they'll take a gander of things and decide what to do here. Got to be something against the Jaguars, probably pre-snap, which is a break for them because it would have been fourth down. False start. That'll put it back to the 27-yard line, which will be 3rd and 18. It's penalty number 6 on the Jags for 44 yards. On 3rd and 18, tough down for Williams. And another false start. So, just not going well here for the Jaguars.
Now you're starting to lose focus, frustrated, tired.
7th penalty, 49 yards. Third down now from the 22-yard line. And 23 yards to go, and they try to throw it underneath screen. It's caught, it's going nowhere. Maybe a loss of a yard. Newman just all over that little underneath screen. They got up to Seth Jackson, but he had nowhere to go. Loss of 1, it's 4th down, and a punting situation. So they'll punt again. First catch for Jackson is going to lose a yard. High pass from center and somehow got it off, and it's caught by Shorman of the 23 to the 20 and down to about the 19. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
No, that was pretty interesting right there.
It's a 2-yard punt, and it was fielded by a short man, Alex Favreau, on a liner. He caught it and made an advance and did a good job in the process. It's pretty impressive.
I don't even know how he got it away, and it went right through the hands of a Newman rusher, and then, I mean, he plucked it out of there like a line drive, like a shortstop on a line drive.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So Newman starts with a Thomas Jefferson 19, trying to add some more here. Here's Butcher wanting to throw. He does. He's got a man. It's a touchdown. Perfect throw and catch. 19 yards and a touchdown. Well delivered. And on the reception was Murray Calhoun. 4th touchdown pass of the game for Butcher, and Newman extends this lead to 41-0.
Just vertical routes. DB didn't get his head around quick enough. If he sees the ball, he probably can make a play on it. But again, this quarterback, man, he puts the ball on the money. I mean, he is a good player. And I know before the game, Nelson said he really likes his team. Didn't have a lot of, big-time signees or college players, but he likes his football team. I can see why, especially with number 12 back there slinging it around.
Moses puts the extra point right through the uprights. And with 8:26 to play in the third, Newman all over Thomas Jefferson, 42-0. 19-yard pass. It's Butcher to Calhoun for the score. It's the second one-play drive they've had for a score tonight. Another illustration of how good they've been.
Again, the penalties is the only really negative thing you can say about them on offense. Play calling's been great. Execution's been great. But they're going to need to be that, as they go forward. That district's going to be tough. That district that they play in is a brutal one. And Riverside, Joe Chango at Country Day is doing a great job over there. South Plaque has improved from what I hear. So, they're going to have to be playing real, real well when they get to that point.
No doubt. Moses to kick it off. Long approach to the football, and he hits this one hard. It's going to be fielded at the 1, but now into the end zone for a touchback. So Thomas Jefferson must start at its own 20-yard line with 8:19 to play in the third quarter and a 42-0 lead for Newman. Want to mention as well that we have a lot of action coming to you here at CrescentCitySports.com the rest of the weekend. Tomorrow night, the big showdown in St. James Parish between Lutcher and St. James. We'll have it live here at CrescentCitySports.com. Lenny Van Gilder on the call. Looking forward to that tremendous rivalry. And then Saturday night at CrescentCitySports.com, we'll have Warren Easton and Brother Martin for you. And you can watch that one live from Tad Gormley at CrescentCitySports.com on Saturday night at 7 p.m. On first down, movement outside, again, false start. And that's just a team that's right now bewildered and frustrated, right?
Yeah, the focus isn't there. Nothing's going well. It's just, you hate to see that. But again, it's just tough. You got to remember you're still dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. You got to remember that as a coach sometimes, because they're gonna get frustrated and lose their focus.
And the last thing they can afford to do is play behind the chains. They being Thomas Jefferson,
absolutely.
They are going to run it right. Little room to the corner here, and a good run for about 7 or 8 yards to the 22.
Yeah, it looks like Newman's come in with some subs. Starting to look at the numbers. Seeing some numbers there a little different than the ones we had from the starting lineup. Not a wholesale change, but certainly a few out there.
Gain of 8 officially. It's second down and 7 yards to go. Gibson had the carry. It's so hard to spot the numbers. I'm sorry, but it's really difficult. We've really got to enforce this rule that we've talked about. Here's a run inside with some room. Across the 25 to about the 28. Short of the first down, but a nice little cavity. Exposed for 5 or 6 yards. As that was Camille on the carry.
Carried by number 22, Donovan Camille.
Donovan Camille gets 6 to the 29. It's third down and 1.
Thomas Jefferson needs a first down in a bad way right here.
Third and 1 of the 29. Riverdale leads Haynes 35 to nothing at the half. Sounds familiar. On third and 1. Wants to run a pitch play left and a backfield hit and drop for a loss. So on third and 1, didn't go straight ahead, decided to run a pitch and too much penetration and no chance as Stevenson was hit for a loss. And it's fourth down and about 4 yards to go.
Looks like they're going to go for it again.
Loss of 3. It's 4th and 4, and it looks like they will go for it. And why not? There isn't anything to lose at this point.
No, I mean, again, it's, whatever play you got, pull it out. No, they get the heat and humidity time.
Yeah, at the 5:59 mark, we get the heat and humidity timeout or break, if you will, here in this situation. And they will talk about it and give everybody a chance to think twice. Thomas Jefferson and Kevin Kelly will think about the possibility of changing their minds, although I doubt it. Why not? I mean, again, in this situation, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't consider going for it. It's a situation where you can't win the game. You're trying to build some confidence. You're trying to keep the football so that you don't give it back to Newman with the way they've played and the way they're executing, especially throwing the football. And it's just very difficult to be able to do anything that would be, productive if you give the ball back to them at this point in time. So that's what's happening here. They're going to talk it over. I think they're going to end up going for it nonetheless. and we'll see what the end result will be as they have that discussion in this situation, and we'll see what they can come up with. We've talked about the options that they have. 4th and 4 is a little bit tougher to run inside and get something done, but we'll see if they're going to do that or run the option again or try to throw the ball or whatever. And we'll see what they're able to do here. So 4th down and 4, snap it, and they're going to run it inside right. There's a hole, and there's a first down. So good hole on a first down on the off-tackle play. And get it to about the 32-yard line. So that's a gain of 6 yards. And hit the hole running. Made a nice run and got a first down in the process. Again, I'm trying to pick out the number for you. Okay, that's Gibson. So Jonathan Gibson on the carry. And that's a first down. So there's a nice hole there, Lon.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the same plays we've been seeing all night. They're pretty basic and vanilla on offense, and they're doing what they do, and that's exactly what you need to do right there. Keep running the football. You know, it's going to make you a better football team down the road. Keep running the football. Get tougher. You know, get a little nasty down there in the trenches and say, hey, we're going to win. We're going to win this battle right here.
On the 32-yard line, a first down. Fake it, rolls right. Williams with time, stops. Going to throw a jump ball down the field, and it's batted down incomplete. Good play, but a late flag. Well, I didn't see any interference there. It looked like a good play by Calder Schmidt, but they did throw a late flag, and can't imagine it's anything else, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interference. Now, whether or not it's against the offense or defense, it looked like two guys going for the football.
Sure,
right there.
I didn't see any penalty at all there.
And it came from a long ways away. That official was about 15 or 20 yards behind the play and threw that flag.
Pass interference on Newman.
Wow,
that's a tough call.
Yeah. You know, that's one. I mean, I know Nelson, he's pretty hot down there over it, but you can't fault your players right there. That's not a penalty that we've been seeing from Newman all night. That's a tough break, like you said.
That's 9 penalties, 108 yards on the greenie to the 47-yard line, and that's one that was undeserved.
Yeah, a lot of them in that first half were mental errors and physical errors, but that was just it's one you just chalk up. The officials made a bad call right there.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line for Thomas Jefferson. 4:30 to play in the third quarter. 42-0 Newman, and they run a pitch play left, and this is going to be a pitch pass down the field. Receiver there, but knocked down. Pass a little bit underthrown, and a nice job on the recovery by Sam Moses to knock it down. So a little trickery there, but Stevenson tried it, but incomplete.
Yeah, love the call there. I thought the receiver that was intended for could have sold the run a little bit. I thought he kind of outran the throw. Got a little bit too far downfield, and that's why it was underthrown. When you throw that halfback pass, you teach that receiver to really break your feet down like you're blocking, make that corner really commit, and then blow by him. And I think he just kind of got a little nervous and happy feet and took off a little soon.
2nd and 10 from the 47. Counter play right and trouble in the backfield and down. This will be a loss of a yard or two. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 12 as a result. That was Stevenson on the carry.
Newman's playing with an extra guy out there, and so when they run that counter play, there's their defender sitting out there, and there's nobody to block him, and he's up the field hard. Again, has no coverage responsibility because of the man coverage they're playing out here over the two receivers. Thomas Jefferson needs to run downhill a little more right at him. That's where they've had the most success, or the option.
3rd and 12 at the 45, and they're going to run it inside left. And back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's all was Gibson. It's going to be 4th and 10.
Gibson carries for a gain of 2.
Hey, you went for it before. You might as well go for it again here.
Why not work on it?
Absolutely.
4th and 10, but near midfield, might as well. Play's going to come in with Camille from the sideline. So 4th and 10 from the 47-yard line. 2:50 and counting, third quarter. Newman 35-0. And the Jaguars are taking a lot of time. They're still in the huddle with 7 on the play clock. Got to hurry. Break the huddle with 5, with 3, with 2. They got it off with 1. And fake it. Williams rolls right. Heavy pressure. Unblocked player. He's just going to have to throw it up, and it's out of bounds, and they'll turn it over on downs. So, again, Newman just has too many free rushers. I mean, they've had people that have been unblocked in this, in
Yeah,
this game
in
frequently.
that situation, that outside linebacker, again, with the man coverage, he really doesn't have any responsibility. And as soon as he sees that quarterback coming his way, he's flying up the field. Because every receiver that's going out is covered by another man. So he doesn't have to worry about anything out there. And that's, by playing that man coverage, like I told you earlier, that the bootleg and the naked stuff, it's not as effective because those guys that are in coverage are not looking at their keys. They're keying one man, the man that they're guarding. So
We got a whole new bunch of offensive players on the field for Newman, as you might have imagined would be the case. It's going to be Joel Taylor operating at quarterback for the Greenies. Or is it? No, it's going to be.
I think it's
Going to be Bo Adams.
2, Bo Adams.
So Bo Adams will have the ball on first down. Adams going to run Bush left. This kid's fast. 45. I saw him in the scrimmage. He's pretty impressive. Out of bounds at about the 42. So first look at T.J. Bush, the junior. He gets it to about the 42, a gain of 5.
And you're going to see this young kid, number 2, you're going to see him doing the exact same things as number 12.
Looks like we're playing running time, too.
Yeah.
2nd and 5 at the 42, a minute 49 and counting in the third. 35-0 Newman on top. 42-0, pardon me, 42-0. Here's a run right. Bush is going to be smothered and hit for a loss.
Well, another thing.
Well, it's not Bush, actually. That's going to be Taylor who got the carry.
Another thing Newman's done, I guess more of a run set. They've gone, even staying in the shotgun, they've gone to a 2-back set, 3 receivers. So, now they're going to the traditional spread. But the last 2 plays, they have been a 2-back set.
So a loss of 3 for Joel Taylor, and it's 3rd down and 8 from the Thomas Jefferson 45. A minute 15 and counting in the third. 42-0 in favor of Newman. Snap it. Adams is going to be sacked. Just firing through. Seemingly on block was Kevin Stevenson for the sack. Bo Adams, there's an encouraging play.
Yeah, that's what happens when you wholesale sub the offensive lineman. You got a bunch of guys in there who don't get a lot of game action when they might play JV, but you're not going to see a lot of the schemes or the blitzes in JV as you might see in the varsity. They don't get a lot of work together. Some of them might be scout team players. Just wide open gap for the linebacker Thomas Jefferson to run through, and quarterback didn't have a chance.
Here's a rare sight, a Newman punt forthcoming, but we're going to get a timeout. Newman didn't have anywhere near enough players on the field. I think they're trying to sub people out, and they just didn't have enough players on the field.
Well, what happens there, Ken, is a lot of your starters are on those.
Clock was still running. The officials are like, stop the clock.
Yeah,
We've got a timeout.
You have to stop
right.
it.
You can't let it run when the team takes timeout.
Yeah, but that happens a lot when you have a lot of starters on special teams and you tell them, all right, you're done for the night.
Yeah.
And then you have to punt, and all those guys are sitting on the bench enjoying the victory, and
got it. The support that we get is unparalleled, and if you want the bank named Gambit's Best Local Financial Institution for 2016, then you want Hancock and Whitney Bank, with nearly 200 locations across the Gulf South. So stop by today. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. That's HancockWhitney.com. Hope you will. You will be pleased. I can assure you it doesn't get any better than HancockWhitney.com, where they have 5-star service and a financial institution that you can trust. Hancock and Whitney Bank. They've got you covered. They have over 200 locations across the Gulf South and products for businesses of all sizes. And again, you can learn more at HancockWhitney.com. Punt formation. Newman will punt it away here. Looks like Camille will be back to receive the punt from Rivers Singley, who's going to get an opportunity to punt it away.
Yeah, you've got to catch this ball. The last thing in the world you want is let this bounce. If you have a chance to receive it, you need to.
It does bounce, but he had no chance to catch that.
Not on that line drive.
Going to be down at about the 18-yard line, so Thomas Jefferson will get it back when the fourth quarter begins, because that's the end of the third quarter with our score. Newman 42, Thomas Jefferson nothing. Back with our fourth quarter in a moment. And you are listening to and watching Thomas Jefferson football on WRBH 88.3 FM and through CrescentCitySports.com. So Gibson to the 21 gets 2 in a punting situation, or so it would appear. They've had trouble punting it, but we knew they would. Here tonight, with their punter being out, it's been tough.
Yeah, it's been an adventure, to say the least, with the punts.
Thomas Jefferson is a well-coached team, but when you don't have the people that you're accustomed to having, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, when you only have 36 players, injuries can be devastating.
Newman does not have anyone back here, and they're in a safety mode, so the punt will be away, and it's going to bounce at midfield. Newman 45, going to roll dead at about the Newman 44. And the Greenies will take over with about 9:30 to play, leading 42-0.
Got some flags down, couple hard hits on the field during the return.
So they'll talk it over. 9:30 to play. Clock stopped as they discuss the flags. They will let us know precisely what the ruling is shortly.
Yeah, if this is against Newman, I would say this would be Coach Stewart. He'd be the most angry about this one right here because it's absolutely does not need to happen. This game is over obviously, and you're just trying to get out of it and to pick up a penalty on a punt return that you don't even have anybody back to receive.
You're just conceding and saying let's
Yeah,
try to move this thing along.
If you have a player hitting in the back or something, silly like that, that it just that to me I would be the most angry or upset about that one. It shouldn't happen.
And it does go against Newman. So he's got something to talk about, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to be in. I'm not going to want to be. I wouldn't want to be a Newman player in film tomorrow.
This is a major infraction, 15 yards.
Yeah, it looks like 2. Looks
Back
like.
to
oh
the
no,
29.
okay, the ball
It's a
was
15-yard
the ball was
penalty.
up there, right. But yeah, film's not going to be fun for a 42-0 win. Film's not going to be fun for the Greenies tomorrow.
That will be the 10th penalty for 123 yards on Newman.
Wow.
That's a bunch of yards of penalties.
Yeah, they're not gonna do well. They're not gonna be able to beat the better football teams with that kind of output from the penalty side.
Bo Adams will handle the quarterback duties again. They'll operate from shotgun on 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Clock running, or the running clock now. Snap it. Run it inside, and a loss coming. They just overwhelm the offensive line, the backups. For Newman is no chance for Bush. He was driven straight back. Loss of 3 at 2nd and 13 of the 26.
Yeah, you can see the young linemen that are in there. They're talking to each other like, hey, you were supposed to do this, you were supposed to that. It just shows you they just, they're pups, and it's great experience for them. Whenever you can get the young guys in, it's awesome because they learn.
2nd and 13 of the 26. Adams backed off, looks over to the sideline, gets the call. Now we'll go to work. There's another different running back with him in the game now. That's Joseph Pleasant, who now slots left next to him with 2 on the play clock. Now right with 1. They're not going to get it off. Where's the flag? Play clock's been out. And there it is, delay of game.
Delay game. Newman.
Boy, he moved that running back twice, and you can't do it.
Yeah, Nelson's getting a little hot over there. He's about halfway to the numbers.
11 penalties, 128 yards.
Yeah.
He's really snapping it.
Yeah.
He's barking. That's on the quarterback. You got to be able to get the snap on.
It is.
He had plenty of time. It was like 17 on the play clock when he looked to the sideline.
Yeah, and I'm sure Nelson's keeping it very, very simple with what they're doing, and just a young pup, second guessing himself probably. And
Pleasant motions, and boy, pass intended for him is incomplete, and it was into some traffic too. So it's going to be 3rd down.
Incomplete pass, bringing up 3rd and 19.
3rd and 19. Adams' first pass attempt. Ball's incomplete. And they did stop the clock. I'm puzzled. I thought it was running time. Now they blow the whistle and start it again. So there you go. 3rd and 19. from the 20-yard line. Adams shotgun. Pleasant next to him. Receiver moved early, no call. Throws down the middle, almost picked off.
Intercepted.
Well, he threw it short of the receiver. Stevenson got a good drop on the play and nearly came up with the football.
Yeah, they tried to hit that little inside vertical route like they've hit a couple of times for big plays right there. And that time the linebacker got underneath it, read it well, and got his hand on it, almost intercepted it.
So the Greenies will punt it away. Rivers Singley will do that. Twin receivers deep this time, Camille and Stevenson. Kick is sideways. It's going to go out of bounds. It went nowhere. Going to mark it at the 33, so that is a 12-yard punt. And
Thomas Jefferson with some field possession, yeah.
Sure. So the Jaguars will operate on the plus side of the field on the Newman 33 with 6:56 to play and a 42-0 lead.
If you're Kevin Kelly, you know, you would love nothing more than to be able to get some points here and go home and get this weekend and really have something positive with the kids going into next week.
And Thomas Jefferson's breaking the huddle. Newman's not even on the field.
It's wholesale changes for the Greenies.
And a lot of different players on the field for Thomas Jefferson as well. Again, the quarterback, Noah Barus. Again, spotting these numbers is just brutal.
Yeah, I don't know how you've done as good a job as you have tonight, Ken.
Binoculars work wonders to some degree, but can't be miracle workers when you're looking at these numbers. I want you to describe these numbers to the audience when you can, for our radio audience.
It looks like a half a number.
Oh, here's a fumble on the exchange, and Newman's got it.
Oh, man.
So that didn't work out too well.
No. Yeah, these numbers, they look like half a number because the jerseys are, what are they? It's a navy blue, and the top of the numbers are blue, and they fade and shade down to a white, so you really only see about half the number, the bottom half. So anything with zeros and eights look the same, and it's very very confusing.
That's a turnover. Johnson fumbled the exchange. Quarterback wasn't sure whether to pull it out, and Colin Dorian recovered for Newman.
Yeah, that's you'd love to see Thomas Jefferson get a chance and get in the end zone and let the kids be excited about something.
Loss of 9 and the fumble and a turnover gives it to him. Newman at its own 42. Running inside, all kinds of room for Pleasant. Midfield, 45 loose at the 40, 35-30. He's all the way down to the 25 of Thomas Jefferson with a first down. So Pleasant got all kinds of room, and he really popped through there. And we'll get the heat and humidity break here. All the way down to the 27-yard line officially. It's 44 yards. That's quite a run.
Yeah, it looked like Newman put some of their starters, offensive linemen, in for that play, maybe to get some positive yards or something. And then at the end of the play, about 5 new linemen ran onto the field. Some of the younger guys maybe try to pick up a first down, get it to the other side of the field, and then put the subs in.
It's actually 40 yards officially, 40 yards to the 27 with Pleasant on the carry. Bush checks into the backfield now.
I'm watching number 12, the Butcher kid, down on the sideline. I've been impressed with him all night. You know what? What I'm watching him, just being impressed, is he's in the huddle. Talking to the backup, talking to his guys, to number 2, and, just giving them signs of courage. That shows what kind of leader he is, and you could see it with his presence on the field. He was in total command of that offense tonight, completely calm and relaxed at doing it.
Adams shotgun. He has Bush in the backfield with him. First and 10 from the 27. Motion And the snap goes way over the head, way back to midfield, way back, still on the ground, and Thomas Jefferson looks like they've covered it at the Newman 42, and they have.
Fumble recovered by Thomas Jefferson.
So the Jaguars come up with it.
Ronald Martin on the recovery.
And that's Ronald Martin on the recovery. And Newman turns it over again. The snap over the center's head again.
They've had an issue with that all night. Again, that would absolutely probably be, and it's not something that they don't work every day. I mean, if you're a shotgun team, you're doing that all day, every day. That'll be another thing, along with the penalties that Coach Stewart's going to emphasize this week.
1st and 10 at the Newman 42. 5:26 to play in the game. Run it inside route. They're going to trudge forward for about 4 yards. As we try to spot the ball carrier again. It's 21, Mitchell Stewart.
How's he seeing it better than you, Ken?
Well, I mean, he's not. I mean, it's taking forever, too. And we're both sitting here trying to figure out who it is. So, again, describe what we're looking at.
Yeah,
you got black jerseys, and you got black tops to the numbers.
Yeah.
And then you got not white after that. You got some other dark color that you can't see.
Oh, no.
This is a run right, and it's going to lose a lot of yardage. Baruch tried to keep it and run right, and he gets hit for a loss back to the 43. That's a loss of 5. So that didn't work.
I mean, I'm saying the officials on the field are having trouble seeing the numbers, and we're, 70, 80 feet up in the air. And
I'll say it again. They've got to enforce the rule about uniforms. You've got to have clarity for the sake of everyone, not just announcers.
Well, there's a
media,
rule. There's a rule,
players,
and it's
coaches.
Not exactly. They don't, they let them play with them, and you can't blame it on the vendors, the guys selling the uniforms, because they're just trying to sell the uniforms.
Right. Here's a pitch right in a whole bunch of white shirts, going to lose a bunch more yards. Ran to the short side, and the white shirts are just waiting for him there. There was no chance.
Yeah, they pitched to the short side
whatsoever.
right there, and it just didn't have enough guys to block.
Brian Johnson the carry and nowhere to go. He's hit for a 5-yard loss to the 48. We have 3:40 left to play. Just trying to run this one out now. A lot of negative plays offensively for the Jaguars in this one. So it's 4th down from the 48-yard line. 4th and 16. And, of course, they'll go for it here. Ken Trahan, Lon Elzey with you. Del Agnew in the studio, radio, and, of course, Chip Merritt, Nat Collins taking care of business here for CrescentCitySports.com. And now we get a whistle. Once again, this time we're going to get a timeout, I believe, for Thomas Jefferson with 3:08 left to play.
Yeah, Coach Kelly called a timeout from the sideline.
And again, we want to salute Hancock Whitney with 5-star service from a financial institution you can trust. It is Hancock and Whitney Bank, which has you covered with expert business bankers and products for businesses of all sizes. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com. We hope you will. Do business with the best. They do business with us. We're doing business with them. You should do business with both. That's what I'm saying. It works. Thanks to our friends, Janelle Evans, Dan Marks, Gary Lorio, and everyone with Hancock Whitney for their support of CrescentCitySports.com. So here's a 4th and 16 from the 48-yard line. And a bad snap through the quarterback's hands. Bruce picks it up. He's going to lose a ton. All the way back to about the 37-yard line, and the ball will go over on downs to Newman. So it's really broken down here, as you might imagine.
Yeah. It's been a tough night for the Jaguars. It really has. And, but Coach Kelly's going to get them ready for next week, and he's a good football coach, and his staff, and they're gonna work hard and keep the kids positive. And there's a long season to go. It's week 2, and they're 1-1, and that's it's better than being 0-2. And so, you just move forward and you look to the next game and correct the mistakes that you made.
Adams has Bush in the backfield with him on 1st and 10 from the 39 of the Jaguars. Motion into the formation. Fake it. Now give it to him on the speed sweep and shook a tackle. Good effort to about the 37-yard line on the run by Joel Taylor. Which picks up about 2 on a play that took a while. Gain of 2 at second down and 8 yards to go. From the 37 as we approach the 2-minute mark to play in this one. Bush remains the running back. I'd like to see him get the ball in space. He can go. Blitz off the corner. Fake it, throw it, and throw it incomplete as Adams got hit. And people say, well, why are you throwing now? Well, it's second team, and you want to see your guys get some experience, but Adams didn't have a chance to set and throw. He had pressure right away.
Yeah, I said it about Thomas Jefferson. Do what you do. Well, that's what Newman does, and it is backups, and again, they're getting work. You got to get them work.
So it's third down from the 37-yard line. Motion left, Bush. Looking out there to throw it to him, leads him too much, incomplete. Sideways throw, and it's fourth down and 8 yards to go.
Pass incomplete, bringing up 4th and 8 for Newman.
So 4th and 8 for the Greenies. Stop the clock momentarily. They'll run it again shortly. Blow the whistle, and the clock will start with 1:15 and counting. Adams in shotgun. High snap again, pulls it down, runs for his life. He's going to get hit and drop for a loss. So again, just nowhere to go. Back to the 43 with the loss. And Thomas Jefferson will get it back one final time. 54 seconds at the moment. See when they start the clock. From the 44-yard line. Jaguars with one final possession in the game, or so it seems.
The way this game's going.
You don't know?
Yeah, you don't.
We'll see. While we have this opportunity, we'd like to thank Kevin Kelly for his hospitality and making this possible tonight. Principal Andrew Vincent, Assistant Principal Michelle Burmaster of Thomas Jefferson High School, Emily Cormier, the Athletic Director. Deeply appreciate their support. Here is a botched connection again on the handoff, and again, nothing happening on the play as 28, Brian Johnson, got the ball, but he collided with the quarterback trying to get it.
Yeah, you're just seeing the lack of reps that these kids get in practice. When you only have 36 players, and you have to split time offense, defense, you get the reps for the guys that you expecting to be on the field, and when you have to put subs in, it's not going to be smooth.
Looks like they'll run one more play. 10 seconds left, 9 seconds left. 2nd and 11. They get the play off, run it inside, and lose yardage, and that's kind of the way it's been. Fumble on the play, too, for good measure, and Newman is recovered on the final play of the game. So you get a fumble and a recovery on the final play of the game.
42.
And Newman wins it by the score of 42-0 here this evening as they dominate from start to finish in a very impressive performance. Got to give the Greenies all the credit in the world.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was probably about what was expected. Newman's the better football team, depth-wise, size. The ugliness of the game on both sides is very disappointing to both coaches. But as long as everybody came out healthy and you get ready for next week, both coaches will be pleased to move on and continue the season.
So the final score here was Newman 42, Thomas Jefferson nothing. We'll take our final break here. We'll return with some final thoughts in a moment. And you are listening to and watching Thomas Jefferson football on WRBH 88.3 FM and at CrescentCitySports.com.
When I have an attack, I feel scared. It's like tiny nails in the air poke my lungs. I start to cough. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital.
Today, 1 out of 13 children suffer from some form of asthma, accounting for nearly 1/3 of all emergency room visits.
I feel like I'm choking. It's kind of like an elephant is on my chest. A little whistle sound comes out when I breathe.
But while your child may suffer from asthma, asthma doesn't have to make your child suffer. There are simple ways you can prevent your child's next attack. To learn more, call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. That's 1-866-662-8822. Log on to www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many.
I feel like a fish with no water.
Brought to you by the EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
Well, it's an impressive win for Newman here tonight. They defeated Thomas Jefferson 42-0. Ken Trahan with Lon Elsie, Martin Butcher, 10 of 13, 164 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a brilliant performance. And Newman's defense did the rest with a shutout. Lon, final thoughts about what you saw here tonight?
Nelson Stewart's got a good little football team. I know the LaPere kid he's had for the last few years was a loss. But this kid they got, this Butcher kid, he's the real deal. He can play. They're a physical team, but certainly he's going to have to clean up the penalties. That's going to be a problem. And those snaps, those high snaps, are probably the only 2 negatives. Coach Kelly needs to keep his team together, keep fighting hard, keep doing what they do. He's got some quality players at some skill positions. He's got a little bit of size on the line. He knows he can compete in his district. And I believe he's favored to win that district. So get out of here healthy, learn from your mistakes, realize that you played a good football team, and again, 8 weeks to go, and the goal is what? Get to the playoffs. So good football game from the standpoint of 2 teams playing and played hard, and the kids, it was a clean game. The penalties were not cheap penalties. You didn't have anything like that. So good competition. But everybody back to work tomorrow. The coach is back to work. So,
well, back to work indeed. And to see what transpires moving forward, it's going to be interesting for both teams. Newman gets East Jefferson next Friday night at Lupin Field, which ought to be a really good game. And it will be Thomas Jefferson and Lusher at 7 p.m. at Breeze Family Field coming up next week. So those will be the matchups. It's going to be pretty interesting, to say the least, to find out if Thomas Jefferson can rebound from this and to find out just how good Newman is, right?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Alello at EJ, he prides himself on being a hard-nosed coach and have a hard-nosed football team. They're going to run right at you. So, Newman's going to have a challenge. But Coach Stewart's going to clean things up. He's been doing this long enough. He knows his team, and they'll be ready. They'll be ready, and they'll play a much better football game next week.
They will indeed. And as for Newman, I mean, look, they'll be tough. We know going forward. As for Thomas Jefferson, they're better than what we saw tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, they played a real good football team. I mean, anytime you did the math early, you're playing a team with twice as many players. Coach Stewart has the luxury of being able to, at team periods, put his offense on one side and his defense on the other side and have scout team players and get work. When Coach Kelly does it, everybody works offense for half the practice and defense for half the practice. And, like I said earlier, you got kids that don't come off the field with special teams and offense and defense. And that's a tough situation. And he told us before the game, he understood. But there's a reason, like we said before, there's a reason you play better competition, to toughen your kids up and get them ready for what lies ahead. So, he'll be fine. They'll be fine what they're doing. They got some good players. They got a good little scheme. And when they get into their district and they can compete, they'll be fine, get to the playoffs, and hopefully make something happen there.
Well, Lon, it's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight.
Oh, I had a great time. Under the circumstances, certainly I'm not happy about, and I wish Coach Gailey the best. And I've been praying for him since I heard, and I sent him a little message on Facebook when I heard. And he's a tough guy, and he's going to battle, and we're all thinking about him. But I appreciate the opportunity. It's been great. If you ever need me again, I'll be more than happy to fill in. It's enjoyable, and being around high school football, it's what I've been doing for 25 years, and so I like it a lot. So, and I'm impressed tremendously, Ken, on how you do it. Over here typing things and talking and binoculars and looking at rosters. I mean, I don't know how you do it. I mean, it's amazing to me. And you're a special guy to prep sports and appreciated more than you know in the prep sports community.
Well, thank you, Lon. It's a pleasure. It's great to know you. We miss you down on the field, but it's great to have you up here, my friend.
Yeah, I'm like Coach Stewart said, I'm taking a knee for a little while, and I'm enjoying my time with my family and my kids and my wife, and it's been different. It's like I said, more than half my life I've been down on that field, but it's a new experience, and I'm enjoying it. So. Not quite, not saying that it's never going to happen again, but right now I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Well, thanks to Michelle for letting you come. We appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, and she's probably listening. She texted me early and said, "Man, you sound so serious." And I said, "Well," but no, it was, and I appreciate you calling, Ken.
My pleasure, Lon. Thank you. Once again, our final tonight was Newman 42 and Thomas Jefferson nothing. For Lon Elsey, for Chip Merritt, for Nat Collins, and for Del Agnew. Now this is Ken Trahan saying thank you for joining us this evening, and be a good sport. God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.
Generous sponsorship support from individuals,
Thank you,
foundations,
Del.
and underwriters.